Chris Texide on the return.
Kickoff return by Chris Texide, one of the top kick returner on the team. He has returned 22 kicks this year, one for a touchdown. Very dangerous man.
I understand he's a big threat on offense also.
Especially right, out of the 1,100 yards that quarterback Tom Costello has passing, 500 have gone to Chris Texide. Costello calling the plays. First play is a run to number 44, I believe, Mike Liberato.
Not much on the play there. They try to run up the middle on the first play.
Mike Liberato on the carry.
And we want to apologize to our fans right off the bat. We are going to have trouble seeing some of these plays because of our position here on the top of the press box. Speaker in front of our faces, so we're looking mostly at the monitor and doing what we can, so you'll have to struggle through with us. We apologize for that. 2nd and 7 at the 40. Costello the throw.
Incomplete. I think we have a flag on the play, JW. Looked like a little bump off the line there.
We'll see who the flag goes against. Flag thrown at the 45. So right there in that linebacking core spot.
So FDU going to the air early on 2nd down and 7.
Tom Costello not afraid to throw. We talked about it before the game. Likes to light it up when he gets the chance.
I think he had 1,106 yards passing so far this year.
No foul. The ball was tipped.
Okay, no foul there. They pick up the flag, and we go at it from 3rd and 7, same spot at the 41-yard line.
3rd down and 7.
Marist in the home white, FDU in the dark blue. On this night game here, Fairleigh Dickinson, a little bit cold.
Just a little bit of game time temperature, about 30 degrees. We're below freezing. So we'll see how much we can stick it out here. 3rd and 7. They go right to the run. Marist read it perfectly, not even a yard.
A little bit of a draw play there. Marist didn't bite. No gain on the play. Here comes a punting unit for FDU.
That was their big fullback, Mike Liberato, who ground out 98 yards last week in that loss to Uranensis. To Upside.
4th down.
So now 4th down, and they will bring on the punting unit.
There's a fake on the play, and he's open on the sideline. A little quick snap there.
Tom Costello on the fake to a Texide on the left side.
Texide with the reception. Surprised me on that
one. Me too. We can't even see, really. So Costello takes the play himself and gets a 1st down out of it. Marist defense completely asleep there. And then we apologize for the camera angles, as we were talking about just a couple minutes ago. We're not in the best position here on top of the press box, but, we can't do much about it. So if you see a couple shots of the mascot on the sideline, please bear with us.
Yeah, I don't think we need these trick plays. We're having a hard enough time with the regular plays.
Personal foul against the Red Foxes.
We have a personal foul against the Red Foxes. We don't have a number on that.
That'll be added on to a Texide's yardage.
I believe that's a 15-yard penalty.
15-yard penalty. 1st and 10 on the Marist 25.
1st and 10 from the Marist 25-yard line.
As we're moving down the top of the press box here to keep up with the action. After the trick play, they did get down to the 25, plus the tacked-on penalty from Marist. Here is Mike Pierre, run out of bounds at the 16.
Hand off to Pierre,
Pierre was hit once and bounced off the tackle and gained a few more yards. Nice piece of running.
Pierre, their halfback, kind of the flashy type back, who's going to do a lot of cutting for him. Liberato, the fullback, the grind-it-out type of guy. So 2nd down
for 6 yards on the play.
And 4. He got 6 yards on that last play.
We'll see maybe a pop in the end zone here by FDU.
They've come close there, down to that 16. Costello on a keeper. He's got some room, bumped out of bounds at the 11. That will be not close to a 1st down, a couple yards away. About 2 yards shy of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd and 2, I believe.
QB sneak for a 1st down.
He did get the 1st down.
Okay. So they pick up the first down, and the ball is spotted at the 12.
FDU threatening early.
1st and 10, Marist 12.
Pierre in the backfield. Quarterback being handing off to Pierre. Pierre going straight to the middle. Got maybe a yard or two before
Costello
the
heads off
middle of
to
defense
Pierre.
pushing him back.
Not much up the middle so far for Fairleigh Dickinson. The big pass there and then the outside runs so far have moved the ball up the field.
Plus the trick play, and Marist has hurt themselves with the penalties.
Coach Party can't be happy with that 15-yard penalty there.
Now, you know, he's over there
Second down.
shaking his head still. Party does not like to fall victim to trick plays like that, because his emphasis is on defense. Pitch out to Pierre. He's at the 5 and dragged out at the 3.
Mike Liberato.
Option there with Liberato. Quarterback held on to the ball, gave it up at the last second, down right almost on the goal line.
So Liberato picking up a few more. We're down to
Just short
third.
of the first down. The
And-
Devils inch closer.
About a yard or two. They can get the first down without scoring. Ball is spotted at the 4.
3rd and about a yard.
Ball at 3rd and 1.
Touchdown for FDU for
Touchdown!
Mike Liberato.
There's the man, Liberato. Powers it right up the middle. Touchdown. Marist looked a little confused on that play. A couple guys running around back in the backfield. In the secondary, rather. 6-0 FDU with 12-12 still left in the first quarter.
Extra point try.
Tom Lips in now to tack on the extra
Tom
point.
Lips.
Snap down, kick up, and easily through.
The kick is true. Jersey Devils.
7-0
put 7
FDU.
points on the
The
board.
Devils take the lead over the Red
They
Foxes.
lead 7-0 on their first
And very
play.
quickly on that first drive, held through by the fake punt, plus the extra yardage tacked on from the Marist penalty.
Yeah, FDU, it looks like they really want this game. I believe it's their last home games, senior night here at FDU. Not a big crowd because of the weather, I'm sure. FDU came out, a few trick plays, took the lead.
Marist Red Fox is set to receive, down 7 points.
So Marist, before they even get the ball, find themselves down 7-0. Looks like Kyle Carrero and Leroy Graham, I believe, back to receive the kick from Marist, standing at their 5. Graham about up to the 10. We don't see Bruce Harris on the kick returns, only see him on the punt returns.
I remember a few weeks ago, Bruce Harris ran one back for one of the punt returns. He's dangerous when he gets the ball back there.
He was named the ACFC Rookie of the Week last week for his performance against St. John's. Also a tremendous defensive player. Second time he's been named the Player of the Week. Carrero will take it at his 10. And he gets in past the 30-yard line up to the 32.
FDU's touchdown drive was for 10 plays, amounting for 61
FDU,
yards.
you might hear in the background,
It took them
10
2
plays by
minutes and
FDU,
about 40
2 minutes and 40 seconds, 10 plays, 60 yards.
Not bad.
Quick offense there.
And we were talking about how much the cold is going to affect these teams tonight. Well, FDU wants to make quick work of Marist, so they're going right to work on offense. Marist, first time on defense for them.
Without Diudo in the backfield.
Right, Brian McCourt starting. Handoff goes to Chuck Mullally, who's back off an injury the past couple of weeks. He gets to the 35. That's right, Don Diudo hurt himself in the third quarter of last week's St. John's game, and they figured he was going to dress tonight, but obviously will not start.
Yeah, I guess they might as well be careful with Diudo, their star. He still has 2 more years left. You know, they want to hopefully have him next week for the Canisius game up in Worcester.
Second down for Marist. Pitchback going to Diudo, who is in the game now. Look at him turn the corner, and he is run out of bounds at the 45.
Well, eat my words. That is Diudo. We heard that he was not dressing tonight, but he gets the ball in the second play.
gains a Marist first down.
So Marist picking up the first down, and who else to go to but Don Diuto.
That's when you think he's down.
No kidding. Diuto already, amazingly, through 1.5 years at Marist, has become Marist's all-time leading rusher with over 2,100 yards. First down from the 45. Mullally and Diuto in the backfield. The delay going to Mullally.
Up the middle for a big gain, it looked like.
That's Chuck Mullally on
Marist
the
fans
carry.
happy about that. He got to midfield.
McCourt with a nice fake on that. I think FDU thought he still had the ball and was going to, option out Diuto.
And that's what that delay does for you, Brian. So
Second down and 2.
Second down and 2. Marist falling just a couple of yards short of the first.
They entered to FDU territory.
Oh. And we have a flag. Looks like somebody jumped from Marist.
Flags down.
Somebody on the left side of the line there. A little bit anxious. Or a little bit cold.
Yeah, just a little bit. You mentioned in and around the 30-degree mark tonight, plus with the wind.
Illegal motion.
But no snow in the
against
forecast,
Marist
thank
red
goodness.
boxes.
Illegal motion against Marist, as we figured, so they'll be pushed back
Still
into the yard.
second down.
Second down and 7. Daniel Delpree and Don Diuto joins him out here on the right side. Diuto lines up in the slot. Mullally, the lone setback. Handoff going to Mullally. Run play going around the left side. Only gets a couple yards back, so it's third and about 5.
Looks like they're trying to use Diuto maybe a little bit of, I don't know, they're not giving the ball enough, a little bit of a fake out there. He has only got the ball, I think, once so far. They're giving it to the other back.
Third down.
Well, Mullally has worked his way back into the offense after missing the middle part of the season for a couple of games. Injured his ankle, and is back now. And he was a workhorse for him last year, and Marist would like to see the same thing this year. Here's Diuto doing his natural cutting, getting down to the 42-yard line.
Another pitch to Don Diuto.
And he got the first down.
That's a first down on the play.
Marist keeping the ball on the ground. I don't think they'll be putting it up too often here.
Now, Marist likes to stay with a run, first of all, before they have to go to the pass. McCourt, a capable passer, though. Throws about a touchdown a game.
The lefty has a strong arm. But with Diuto in the backfield, he
doesn't have to bother using it too often. Yeah, McCourt doesn't have to bother icing down that arm after the ball game. First down. He will throw now. Looking over the middle, intercepted.
Picked off by FDU as they bring the ball back up to the 40-yard line. It was tipped by one of the Marist receivers. And the FDU player was standing right there, fell right into his arm.
Craig Garetano on the interception.
Craig Garetano on the interception.
It's the Jersey Devils' possession.
Craig Garetano, number 45, led the nation last year in interceptions with 10. This is his 6th.
6 this year.
So Garetano.
Marist looked a little confused again.
Well, McCourt had hit Daniel Phelan, and it tipped off Phelan's hands, and Garetano just playing center field. The ball fell right in his chest.
I think Phelan last week had a big touchdown reception. I don't know how many yards it was for, right?
A 73-yard touchdown play last week from McCourt to Phelan on a crossing pattern. One of Daniel Phelan's favorites. That was a crossing pattern right there, as a matter of fact, and it went right into his hand.
Second and 8.
Costello keeping it himself, just bowling right ahead.
Costello's held the ball a lot here in the beginning. I think that's 2 or 3 times he's done that now. 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6. We've seen, have not seen Costello put it up, I don't believe, so far tonight. If he did, maybe one.
I think the one fake maybe was that. I think that was it.
Out to the 48, 6 yards to go for first down.
3rd and 6.
They get the fake and a sack for Chris. Not Chris Pratty. Looked like Pratty for a second.
That's Joe McGann on the sack.
Joe McGann coming in, number 76, the defensive end on the right side. Pratty plays the left side.
Yeah, McGann was in there right after the snap. Doesn't look like anybody picked him off the line. Big play for Marist there as it was 3rd and 6.
And FDU will punt the ball. There's no fake here. Bruce Harris taking the ball, skirting along the sidelines, out of bounds at midfield.
Harris trying to get to the outside there. Showed his amazing speed. It's good field position for Marist.
So Marist picking up basically where they left off on that last drive.
Let's start all over again.
No damage done on that last one. They trail 7-0, 7:37 on the field here in the first quarter.
10 on their own 47-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Foxes, who are coming into tonight's game with a 4-4 record. And they finished 2nd in the ACFC. Could not win the conference this year.
Yeah, they finished with a 2-1 record, I believe.
That's correct. The draw to Don Diudo.
Big hole.
He's got some room along that far side, down to the 30 and out of bounds.
Well, Diudo looks pretty healthy to me. Big play there. Big hole up the middle.
McCord hands to
Great
Don
inside blocking.
It's the first down for the Marist Red Foxes.
Diudo had an impingement in his left rotator cuff against St. John's. That was why he had to miss most of the second half. Worked out during the week and is back here to play in New Jersey.
First down for Marist.
At the 28. Handoff going straight ahead to Mullally. Mullally getting a few.
McCord gives it to Mullally.
Chuck, we mentioned a big workhorse, came into his own in the second half of last year, helped Marist win outright the ACFC. They compiled a 5-0 record.
Yep.
And ended up being Marist leading scorer, scoring 8 touchdowns in the last 3 or 4 games last year. After not having scored any at the beginning of the season. Run play going to Diudo, another draw and a delayed one at that. Down to the 25. Not unusual to see Marist run that delayed draw. I've seen it a couple times tonight.
Yeah, they like that play. Diudo has, they hand the ball to him, that's twice in this drive. Didn't get as much in that play. Nonetheless, a good game there. 3rd and 4, maybe?
Third and about...
3rd down.
4-5. Marist is at the 25. They break Diudo from the I formation. McCourt to pass. He's got nobody open as he throws it to the corner of the end zone.
The pass is too far, incomplete.
A little bit of a timing pattern there, it looked like. Just dropped back and threw it up there. Good coverage by FDU. I think that was Fallon intended on the, for the reception.
Yep, Fallon was headed down that left sideline on a fly pattern, and McCourt overthrew him by an easy 20 yards. Most people were unsure of what McCourt could do. You remember, he has some big shoes to fill. Danny O'Donnell is gone, the all-time passing leader in Marist history.
4th and 5, look like they're going for it.
Gutsy call here by Pardee. Phelan in motion. They draw to Diudo, working hard to get the first down. He's going to be close.
Looks like he's a little bit short as the FDU offense coming on the field. Yeah, they're short.
Well, it was that delayed draw once again. And Diudo,
stops them.
To his credit, tried to skirt along the 15-yard line, tried to get towards that marker, but was not able to do it. So Marist stalls here in FDU territory. FDU takes over. 6:07 left to go in the first quarter. They lead by 7. Costello with a run play.
Not much there to the outside.
On the carry.
Liverado with the carry.
So far tonight, we've seen Brian only using one back in the backfield for FDU, featuring that passing type of offense. Although they have only gone to the air once.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to establish the running game at least here early. They have a 7-0 lead.
2 yards on the play. 2nd down and 8.
Liberato still sits up in the backfield. Costello the pass, had a man open in the flat and went right through his hands.
I believe that was number 15 on
Pass intended for Len Pastula.
Len Pastula.
Third down and 8 yards, the Jersey Devils.
Right in his hands. Good pass there. They would have had a first down, I believe, if he caught that ball.
Len Pastula, number 89, their tight end. He's a senior. They were talking about him before the game. A 3.6 GPA. He's headed to med school.
That's very impressive, especially playing sports here at FDU. It's tough to do both.
You bet. Especially in a pre-med type of a program. Costello pass again. He's under pressure. Gets it away. And almost was caught.
Looked like another drop pass there.
And I think it was Pastula again.
Pass intended.
A lot of pressure by the Red Fox defense that time. Looked like they had 3 guys chasing the quarterback. It'll be 4th and 8 as the punting unit comes out in the field. Don't expect a punt, though, always, for these guys.
Marist will be awake for this one. Back to punt for FDU. Frank Plefka. Plefka boots it away. And it hit a Marist player. FDU picks it up.
It was a very low kick. I don't know what they're going to call here. It looked like it hit one of the Marist players in the back, as FDU was aware of it and just picked up the ball and started running downfield. Do you know the ruling? I know they blew the whistle. I don't know.
Jersey Devil ball.
Oh, I guess that settles the ruling for us.
There was a fumble on the play.
The fumble on the play, the whistle had not blown until after
possession.
Until after the fumble occurred, and it was Okang McBride, the special teams player, that recovered it. Also filling in as a defensive back. So he recovers. Big break for FDU. Twice now Marist has been victimized on punts. Costello the pass. He's got Mike Pierre along the near sideline, run out of bounds at the 45. 35, excuse me. 45.
Nobody covered Pierre out of the backfield on that one. He went in motion from the backfield. Nobody from Marist picked him up. It was a nice game there.
Ball spotted at the 47. First, 2nd down and 5. Run to Pierre, he's wrapped up at the 45. Chris Pratty in on the tackle.
Pierre getting his work in tonight.
That's for sure. Catching the pass, running a couple plays.
About a yard.
Yard on the play.
3rd and 4. They have to get down to the 41-yard line.
3rd 6. 4. 3rd
Pierre
4.
still in the backfield. Costello the pass, looking near side. Complete. To number 26.
Pass pulled down by
Alex.
Mike Matt.
Mike
Pushed
Matt.
down, Jersey Devils.
Fouled it a few times. This time held on to the ball. Mike Mack, we understand, with the catch. Marist defense looking very confused.
So FDU picking up the 1st down and moving at will here on this drive, although the Marist defense has come up big the last 2 drives. That's Mike Liberato. Marist having a tough time dragging him down on that run.
FDU opening it up a little bit on this drive. A few passes, running it up the middle.
Mike Liberato carries the ball.
1st and 9, 1 on the play. 2nd and 9.
5 yards on the play.
2nd and 5. They're a little slow on the scoreboard for us. Once again, apologize to the fans at home for our delays in some of these calls. Remember the camera angles. Here is Liberato inside the 30, also making our job just as tough, besides the camera angles, besides the crowdedness up here, besides the cold, is the fact that they have dark numbers on dark uniforms.
Great. It's great. With the big speakers in front of us, so we cannot see, as well as numerous coaching staff by FDU and Marist. Just a little bit tough as we're back here in the trees.
Tougher than normal.
Here come the sticks.
And they're going to have to bring this one out and measure it. Ball rest
The old chain gang coming in.
at the 27. And they will give him a first down. So FDU continues to roll.
That's a first down for the Jersey Devils.
They are moving the ball, it looks like, at will here in the first quarter.
3:38 left to go here in the opening period of play. 7-0 Jersey Devils looking to add more. Costello in command. Counter gap play. Gains a couple for FDU. Mike Liberato with a carry.
Liberato again with the carry. FDU has to be happy with their first quarter, I'm sure, here on Parents' Night. They're just dominating Marist as so far.
They have completely walked all over the Red Foxes. Foxes have not been able to stand up and do anything on defense, and they've been victimized twice on special teams, which has, in effect, given FDU the touchdown and this field position. Hand off to Pierre. Got some room along the left side. Flag thrown. He's down to the 15.
Might have a hold on the play here. Be a break for Marist. Pierre had an opening there and got a few yards.
He had a big opening, so there may be some holding. Flag thrown at the 20.
Officials talking about the penalty. They're moving the ball back against FDU.
So it may be holding, and that's what the call is. Holding against the Jersey Devils, back 10 yards.
Against FDU.
So second down. Ball resting at the 31.
Second and about 12, I believe.
FDU overloads the right side with 3 receivers. Costello headed that way, dropped.
Costello.
A lot of drop passes here in the first quarter by FDU. Maybe they're only, down point of the game so far, but they are open. Eventually, they're probably going to start catching those balls.
And you have to wonder how much of a part the cold is playing in this.
Third down,
wide receiver Jack Hoban had that right in his hands just as before. We've seen it happen with tight end Len Pastula. Remember that twice he dropped 2 passes. Pierre still in the backfield as Liberato's taking a break over here on the sideline. And, they get the pitch away to Pierre.
The quarterback was crushed in the backfield. It didn't get to him in time as Marist swarmed right up the middle, but there was plenty on the outside there for Pierre.
Jeremy Stowe shot the gap and had wrapped up Costello, but a great piece of mind by Costello just to get it up in the air in the vicinity of Pierre.
4th down.
But it is 4th down and 2.
FDU will go for it. Big play here for the Marist defense. They'd like to stop him here, so, FDU doesn't get 14 here in the first quarter.
So far this first quarter, FDU 2 for 2 on 4th down conversion. Hands off goes to Pierre, and he is strung out along the 20.
They're short of the first down as Marist will take it over. A few low-flying planes here.
We commented on it. As they pulled into the parking lot tonight, you looked up and you saw a plane just clipping the trees.
All the obstacles are here.
We have a train go behind us earlier, I think. 1:40 left in the first quarter. See what Magic Marist can work. I formation in the backfield. Scott DeFalco in motion. Pitch back to Julian Wise, out to the 30. Dido taking a break right now.
Wise picks up a few yards. That's first time Wise has had the ball in the backfield tonight. Mixing up a little bit. Marist giving the ball to 3 different runners now.
Play, who gets about
we haven't seen McCourt run the ball yet. He usually runs the ball once in a while.
He can't do that. Very mobile quarterback, just as Danny O'Donnell was last year. Pitch back to Wise. Makes a couple nice cuts, and he's dragged down, and a flag is thrown.
Did you see anything on that? Maybe a face mask?
Why?
That's probably what the referee thinks. From up here, I think he grabbed the back of his jersey and dragged him down.
Flag on the play.
I think it's a rough call going here against FDU.
You notice some of the FDU fans are getting on the refs here early.
What fans there are here?
As they are marking it off against Fairleigh Dickinson.
The penalty is flagrant face mask. It'll cost FDU 15 yards.
So a face mask penalty, although from our angle it did not look like a face mask penalty. It looked like he grabbed him from around the collar.
Actually, from my angle, I didn't see much.
You saw the speaker. First down for Marist with the penalty at the 46. Option. Run straight ahead. To number 30.
Big gain on the play.
Kyle Carrero. Now Carrero being used in the backfield, mostly the kick returner.
For Marist first down.
And the FDU defense faked out on that play. They thought it was going to be the option, and instead it was just a straight ahead run.
Carrero has carried the ball a few times this year. Marist's confidence is going in. Big gain there.
Scott DeFalco in motion once again. Carrero on the delay, and he has the ball. And he has a few more yards. 18 seconds left to go. Looks like Marist will take the walk. Let the clock run out here in the first period.
Carrero stopped by Silvestri and Sean on the line.
I don't think they'll get the playoffs here.
We're down to 4 seconds. 3.
And that'll be the end of the quarter.
They will let the first quarter expire. At the end of one, Marist trails 7-0. We will return to FDU Madison in just a moment. Welcome back to FDU Madison. J.W. Stewart along with Brian Markham at the end of one. Marist trails 7-0, but they are driving.
They are driving. Marist has been dominated so far. As Marist hopefully will bang one in here.
McCourt on a keeper. Rounds the corner. Stacked up by 5 FDU defenders. He's pushed back to the 29.
There is a flag on the play.
But we have flags on the play.
He was crushed by 5 FDU players. Big gain. All of a sudden, they closed the hole on him.
Marist did not play illegal motion against Marist, so they'll have to
illegal
that.
procedure. That goes against
Second
the
time we've
Marist
seen that
Red
tonight
Foxes.
against the Red Foxes. Now, Marist did not play a bad first quarter. They were just fooled on 2 fourth-down plays.
Yeah. Exactly. McCourt looked a little shaken up on the play. He took off his helmet, shook around his head a few times. He seems to be all right.
Yeah, he shook the cobwebs out. He seems to be all right, and he's back in there. As Marist has 2nd and 13 from the 43. He will pass. And the pass will be incomplete to a falling Daniel Phelan.
Yeah, McCourt was under heavy pressure that time by the Devils defense. He was almost down. He let the ball go. Would have been a tough catch for Phelan. He wouldn't have got much on the play anyway.
A lot of time, though, for McCourt to throw that ball.
Good protection by the Red Foxes. Just didn't have anybody open.
Silvestri pressuring McCourt on that last play.
Silvestri, one of the main people for the FDU defense, was rushing McCourt on the play.
McCourt to pass again, in trouble. Running on our side and trying to make the completion to number 87, Brian Rogers. Ball falling just a couple of yards short of Rogers, the tight end.
Yeah, Marist didn't have great protection that time. He was rushed immediately. Somebody was running after him in the backfield. As Marist looking to punt here. Can't put one in here. Looks like we might have a fake. Two wide receivers out.
Weigler is in the punt. End over end. And FDU will let it bounce. Marist will get a nice roll out of it down
We have flags on the
to the
play.
10-yard line. But once again, flags falling all over the place.
Looked like Marist was trying to pull something there as they pulled two guys wide. Flags once again. Seems like on every play we're getting a flag.
In the event that Marist did try to pull something, that may be why the flags were thrown, probably in illegal motion somewhere along the line. It was an interesting offensive setup for Marist. Personal foul against FDU.
Foul against FDU.
So that will back them up even more. Half the distance to the goal line. They are at the 5-yard line.
Marist looking for a big stand here. Come up with great field position. On the 5-yard line with only a few seconds gone here in the second quarter.
We're down to 14-10. We've just begun the second quarter. FDU Jersey Devils lead the Red Foxes 7-0. Run to Pierre along the far side. Gaining a few yards for FDU.
It'll be second and long for the Devils. Marist
Second down.
didn't let
10 yards to go.
the running back get to the outside on that play.
Marist is a good pursuit defense, especially along the ends. Jeremy Thode, Chris Pratty, very quick on those defensive end spots. Joe McGann also out there. FDU sticking with the run, trying to push the running back for a few more yards before he's run out of bounds.
Costello gives to Mike Liberato.
Liberato back into the game, number 44. Their big fullback.
Third down, 10 yards.
But it is now 3rd and 10, so little gained right there, Brian.
Yeah, no gain on the play there. You think FDU will put it up here, or are they just going to be careful and keep the ball on the ground so deep in their territory?
I think they try to put it up right here just to see what they can get out of it. They have been able to victimize Marist pass defense before. No, they will go to the draw, and they will get the first down.
Big play there as he's out to the 38-yard line. Marist, as you said a few minutes ago, JW, with that pursuing defense.
Mike Liberato.
Mike Liberato, the big fullback, able to turn on the speed, get the first down.
First down.
Marist definitely bit on that play. They all thought the pass was coming. There's a huge hole up the center of the field. Big gain by FDU.
Great call by the FDU coaching staff. And you see now why I broadcast and don't coach. So first down, FDU gets out of a jam yet again. 3 times tonight they've been in trouble. That one's tipped up. Could have been picked off. A flag goes down.
Pass is incomplete.
Brian
Flags
Olds
are
falls down on the play. He was the defensive back with the best shot at getting the ball.
Yeah, once again, the pass looks like it went right through one of the FDU players' hands. Tipped up for grabs as a flag came flying through.
And here comes the penalty.
Defensive pass
Rough call
interference.
against
That's
Marist.
against
First
Marist.
down.
I didn't see any contact to do.
Neither did I. I didn't see anything because it was a catchable ball. Both were running to the ball. The ball just happened to tip off his hands. From what we saw, at least. Referee obviously saying something different. First down at the 42 for the Jersey Devils.
They're not looking good on this drive for Marist. A few bad breaks, a bad break there, you know, the big handoff up the middle before.
Marist has been strong defensively for the first quarter plus. There's just been those few plays where they have been victimized by FDU, or they have victimized themselves. You can see, for example, right there, Marist defense coming up and swarming right on the ball carrier. Easily read play for the defense.
The Marist pursuing defense doesn't seem to have any problems with the
Second and
handoffs
10.
up the middle and the plays that you can see coming, but the draw plays, obviously that trick play before, they haven't been picking up on quite as quickly.
Second and 10. Pierre in the backfield. Marist almost jumping, no flag thrown. Now a flag is thrown.
I would say it might be on the offense since they blew the play dead because I didn't see any contact with any of the Red Sox players.
Whistle was a long time in coming. Marist had crossed into the neutral zone. But the ball was snapped before the whistle ever went off.
Officials getting their money's worth tonight.
Definitely. Might get extra pay because of the weather conditions.
So once again, a long discussion out on the field between three of the officials. Mash trying to get early word.
Well, Marist has one more game left to play. They play next week against Assumption College in Assumption, Massachusetts. That's a replacement game, oddly enough, because the regularly scheduled game against Brooklyn College has been canceled because Brooklyn had to give up their football team this year.
That's too bad. Brooklyn College, I'm sure that football team's been around a while, as has the school.
They've been around for quite some time.
The Kingsmen.
The Kingsmen, not always up the top of the ACFC, but they have always had that football team, and because of lack of funds this year, they've not been able to field one.
What do we got here?
Illegal procedure
Illegal
against
motion.
the Jersey Devils.
Against the Jersey Devils. We'll push them back a few yards, and it took a long time to decide that.
And the officials looked a little bit confused on their call with that late whistle.
Now, obviously, the call was that one of the offensive linemen moved before the Marist defenders made it into the neutral zone. Costello to pass, and he's dropping back a great distance. Well, lofted up. Liberato. It was over his head. Coaches up here are calling for a holding, but no such call.
Now, Costello dropped back about 15 yards on that pass play. It did look like a little bit of holding here around the 40-yard line.
Third down.
So third down for FDU.
Third and long.
Third and 15.
We're definitely looking at a pass play here.
Although Marist will keep their eyes open for that draw. They were victimized on that last series. Costello the pass, no run play here. Flips it up and out of bounds.
Good defense by Mass on that series. As the punting unit will come out for the Devils.
Marist apparently holds here after giving early. Remember, they had FDU third and long on the 5, and FDU had made it as far as the 45. They now drop back into punt formation. Flag thrown. Bruce Harris dragged down at the 25.
Glenn Pastula on the tackle.
As a flag on the play, as usual.
As usual, that's been the story so far in the first quarter plus.
As the officials once again will conference. It's become a ritual here at Fairleigh Dickinson. A lot of yelling by the FDU coaches down there also, down on the field, as well as up here on top of the press box.
And let's see what we got for a call. And once again, an illegal formation against FDU. Marist getting some more yards tacked on.
That's a penalty against Fairleigh Dickinson, a procedure penalty.
And
Marist chooses for a re-kick.
Wants a re-kick. They want to give Bruce Harris another chance.
Why not? It's exciting. FDU doing a lot of movement on these kickoffs as they call a timeout here. They're confused once again.
And that's what cost them the last time. Remember, they pulled their punter back from the line, and that may have caused them that penalty. Now FDU taking the first timeout of the ball game. They lead Marist 7-0 here in the second quarter. We will take a timeout, and Brian and I will be right back from New Jersey. Madison, New Jersey for the punt.
Quick snap there. Marist was not in procedure at all.
Bruce Harris will field at the 30, and he'll be run out of bounds. And you're exactly right, Brian. Marist doesn't have a chance to defend himself.
FDU runs a few quick snaps here in the first half, keeping Marist off balance. They better be on their toes, or FDU could have snapped the ball down and ran down the field with it.
FDU turning to the back pages of the playbook here on senior night to pull out a couple trick ones. 7-0 the score in favor of FDU.
A little playground football, it looks like.
Marist, 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Handoff going straight ahead. Julian Wise still in the game, as is, I believe, that was Kyle Carrero, and it is. Carrero getting a couple. So Mullally and Diudo taking a rest on the far side. Have no report as yet. And if you're a Marist fan, you hope they're okay.
You sure do. Two players from Marist. It's a shame to see anybody go down with an injury. Those 2 stars for the Red Foxes, they're important to the success of Marist.
Pitch back going to Julian Wise, who's acting as the halfback, and he can't turn the corner. Loses a yard. Now, we did not see Diudo or Mullally limp off the field.
No, we didn't. We have no indication that they are hurt, and we have not heard anything up here.
3rd and 9.
I notice this quarter with all these flags is taking quite a long time.
Yeah, I know. It seems like we went through the first quarter in half as much time as this. We're down to 10:48 left to go before the half. Marist operating from their own 31. McCourt looking over the middle, off the chest of Michael Bello.
Bello was open at the 45-yard line. Excellent protection by Marist. McCourt had all the time in the world to throw the ball. Just bounced off the shoulder pads of the receiver.
FDU pressure.
Punting formation for Marist.
Basic pass play for Marist. We've seen it instituted ever since Coach Pardee has been here. That's just the square-in pattern. Hit it right over the middle, nothing fancy about it. But the problem is that Marist has not been able to hold on to the ball tonight. Weigler to punt. Short one. Marist hoping for a good roll. It rolls out of bounds at the 43.
Excellent field position for the Devils.
Weigler did not get much underneath that punt. And you talk about being cold and how cold affects your hands. Cold also can affect your feet, too. And,
FDU sees a 1st and 10. They're set
Of course, I didn't wear my heavy socks.
No, and of course, I got my docksiders on, and my feet are freezing. So if Weigler's got some cold feet, we can empathize with him.
Yeah, he's been on the sideline. He's not out there, running all the time, as are the other players. It could have very well affected his punting.
Pitch back to Pierre. Looking for him around this side. The pursuit knocks him out of bounds. Gained a yard, if that.
Chucked out to Mike Pierre. 2nd down.
Second down for FDU as we're here in Madison, New Jersey. About a 2-hour plus with a lot of tolls.
With a lot of tolls and a lot of traffic. Our first time down here, we were down at the T-Net campus last year to do a basketball game between Marist and FDU. And tonight we go to the alternate campus of Madison, New Jersey. It's the only campus Marist plays in football is Madison. The last time they played each other, they tied each other 10-10 back in 1989. That was Coach Pardee's first year, one of only 2 ties on his Marist record. The last time Marist beat FDU was got to go back to 1986, 27-7 victory for Marist. That was the year Marist turned in a 6-3 record, and it was the final winning year Marist had before last year, when Marist captured the ACFC crown for the first time in its history. And not surprisingly to us, Brian, another long discussion here.
Officials deciding where they're going after the game, what they're doing next week, and what they're doing for Christmas.
Long delay there is one of the FDU players helped off the field. in between the officials talking about things. So after the quick injury, down to the 9:58 mark in the second quarter. Liberato into the backfield for Pierre. Quick pass, that one tipped up, almost picked off. Couple of Red Foxes in the area.
Pass
No flag
intended for a
thrown.
tech side.
There is a
Broken
flag
up
thrown?
nicely by
Guess it
Simonetti.
is pass interference, and I hear many people yelling it.
I saw no
No,
flag.
no
thrown.
flag. Some of the coaches down the sidelines yelling for pass interference. Looks like they were both going for the ball from up here, though.
Chris at tech side running a slant in pattern, bouncing off his hands for the second time tonight. Same pattern.
Gotta get some stickums on them at halftime in there.
Gotta warm up those hands. Third and 10. Pump fake. Costello gets it away, and nobody's home.
He was wrapped up in the backfield.
Looking for a
We
tech
see
side.
flags on the field.
As there are flags on the field. Good pressure by the Marist defense that time. Good coverage downfield as one of the Marist players had his arm wrapped around the quarterback for FDU as he tried to let the ball go. Costello just threw it into the middle of the field. Nobody there for Marist to pick it off, unfortunately.
It looked like Chris Pratty from his left defensive end spot coming in.
Offside against the Red Foxes. Third
It
down,
might have been
5 to go.
Pratty that was offsides, perhaps. Could have been him, someone on the line, obviously offside, so pushes it up 5 yards. Still a third down situation, but they have 5 yards shorter to go.
5 yards here. Now they have the option, I think, to run the ball maybe instead of looking for the pass, as they do have 3 wide receivers to the left.
They overload the left side this time. Costello looking that way. It is caught, and they will have a
That's
first
Jack
down.
Hoban. First
Jack
down,
Hoban, who dropped the pass earlier this quarter, last quarter actually, on a drive, comes up here with a first down.
He's lucky to hold on to the ball there. He bobbled it a few times. He had gained possession before he hit the turf as he stretched out for the first down across the 50-yard line into Red Fox territory.
First and 10, 3 yards deep into the Red Fox territory.
So FDU continues to move the ball. And we've seen that so far in this first half tonight. They've been able to move the ball until Marist, somewhere deep in their territory, has been able to stop them.
I think we have that same formation again, 3 to the left.
They go to the run this time. Pierre with the ball. He's back into the ball game. Gets down to the 41.
Mike Liberato on the carry.
Liberato with the carry.
Second and 10.
No, that was Pierre. I am correct.
Gain of maybe 1 on the play.
They give him a yard, second and 9.
Both Pierre and Liberato in the backfield. No, just Liberato this time. They split Pierre out in the slot. And FDU will be sacked. Costello dragged down at the 41.
Costello is sacked by Edward
Costello
Flanagan.
sacked by Ed Flanagan. Didn't have a second to look downfield on that play. Marist swarmed right in. We'll call it 3rd and 19.
Big third down play coming up for FDU, but remember, they've been able to reach into their hat and pull out the magic wand, and they have come up with a couple of nifty plays, to say the least, to burn Marist. Three receivers on the left side once again. The draw, going to Liberato. Marist reads it perfectly. He only got 2 yards.
I think Marist was aware of it that time. They're not going to let that happen
Handed
twice
off
to
to
them.
Mike
It's
Liberato.
a 3rd and long situation. Marist clogged up the middle, didn't let him get to the outside. Good play there by the Marist defense.
Well, the punting unit will come on now for FDU.
Fourth down.
Frank Plefka in the punt once again.
There's that motion again as he ran back from behind center.
No flag thrown. Plefka's got some distance on it. Bruce Harris right there to catch the ball at his own 22. Makes a couple of cuts. He's out to the 38.
Good return by Harris as the Red Fox offense hopefully will get something started here with 7 minutes left in the
Brought
second
down by
quarter.
Mike Sakamana.
While the defense has played well tonight, only being victimized by a couple of trick plays, the Marist offense has been slow and stagnant. The running game has been there, but the passing game has been non-existent so far, thanks to a couple drop passes. We haven't seen one completed pass tonight.
I don't believe we have. You're right, JW.
And of course, the cold weather being a factor in that. Don Dato back into the game. Close to midfield. He does a headstand at the 48. So Dato seems to be okay.
Good to see him back. It seems like every time he gets the ball, he does something here for the Red Foxes. Second and 1 for Marist.
So Dato picking up 9
Second
yards
and
on that
1.
run. He is behind Mullally in the backfield. Straight ahead to Dato. He's got the first down. Bouncing off one
Dato
tackle
stopped.
and leans forward for the
Flags
first.
on the field.
Flags on the play. Dato has quite a few yards here already. He hasn't had that many carries. Has a few big plays. Hopefully get you the stats for that at
Holding
halftime.
against the Red Foxes.
Holding against Marist will push them back a few yards. That's correct. We will have the official stats at halftime. And Dato has only carried the ball a couple times. Remember, he sat down for the past couple series. Coming back in here because Coach Pardee sensing that he needs some instant offense. And for that, he's got the solution.
That'll push him back 10 yards.
Marist goes back 10 yards. Marist actually killing themselves on offense too tonight.
A lot of penalties on both sides. But Marist can't afford them being down 7-0 here in the first half.
They send Del Pree in motion. Mullally gets the call out to the 40. Remember, he's got to get out to the 48 for a first down.
Cut down by Bob Getting.
It looks like they might be alternating their running backs here by series. I know one series, Dato and Mullally carried the ball a lot, then you didn't see him the next series, and now
Marist is
they're
stuck
back
on
in
third down.
after maybe a series off, I believe.
Maybe. Scott DeFalco checks in as a wide receiver. He lines up over here on the near side, number 45. Del Pree in the slot. He goes in motion again. Could be the same play. Pitch back going to Dato as they call his number. Only getting 5.
Dato out across the 45.
Dato seeks a first down, but is brought down by Ed
He's
Shaw.
short of the first
Fourth
down. As Wiggler will be out to punt.
Wiggler has to punt from his own 31. That one a lot better than the last one. And the Marist special teams quickly down there on the tackle. They get a hold of number 21, Michael Johnson. John Kelly in the fracas there, one of the first Red Foxes downfield.
A much better punch by Wiggler that time as he got up in the air. Good hang time. Marist defenders were able to sprint down the field and get to the play.
4:41 left
First
to go
and 10 on the 25.
in the first half. First and 10 at the 25-yard line for the Jersey Devils of Fairleigh Dickinson. Hit off, goes to Liberato. Bulls ahead for a few. Will be second down. Doesn't seem like it's gotten any colder out here, Brian. Maybe it's just because we've become so numb we can't feel it. But remember, a game time temperature was in the 30s and could dip down to the mid-20s before we're out of here.
I hope not. I am definitely a little bit cold. It might be because I'm numb. I hope not.
No yardage gained. Second and 10. Costello on a rollout. He gets the pitch. And Liberato dragged back for a loss of 4.
Marist bolted into the backfield that time.
Liberato.
Didn't let Liberato
Loss of 4 on the play.
open it up at all. There is a loss of 4 on the play. Marist has to be careful here now. Great defense so far this series. They don't want a foolish penalty.
Marist has played some solid defense since that first drive. FDU has not gotten anywhere close to scoring since that opening drive. Liberato still in the backfield for Costello. Costello to throw. Puts it up. That will be pass interference. Again,
Pass is incomplete, but the flag.
Tim Carroll.
Yeah, Carroll had his back to the ball. He didn't even see the ball coming. As there's about a 20-yard pass downfield or so. As he bumped him.
Yeah, Carroll, in his efforts to turn around and locate the ball, inadvertently bumped into the wide receiver, Chris at Tech side. Tech side, of course, the favorite target of Tom Costello. We talked about that earlier in the game.
Tech side has a huge amount of yards this season.
Offensive
Receiving.
pass interference.
A change in the call. I can't believe this one.
Offensive pass interference. The referees overruling the original call and obviously saying that at Tech side.
It didn't look like it to me.
From the ball.
Looked like the Marist defender had his back to the ball, and maybe a missed call there. Marist will take it as they should get great field position here, unless it's a monstrous kick.
Plefka to punt again. Ball will wind its way towards the 40 and just kind of sit there. So Marist will take over. Come on, Tommy! From about the 40-yard line. We'll see where they spot the ball.
Some good field position here. Hopefully Marist will do something with it. 29-yard punt.
Red Foxes 10 yards deep into Devil territory on the 40-yard line.
First and 10. Marist will pick it up from the 39. Maybe their best field position to score here, and it is their best field position to date.
2 runners in the backfield.
And 2 receivers split wide left. The delay going to Johnny Diudo. Diudo stopped short of the 35. He got only about 2 or 3.
Diudo on the carry.
Nothing there for Diudo that time. The Jersey Devils clogging up the middle.
2nd and 8 for the Foxes.
2nd down and 9.
McCourt taking his time at the line. Flag thrown. McCourt had it batted down.
McCourt was looking deep here on the left side. Saw the coverage downfield, however, and tried to dump it off.
Flag on the field.
I believe 2 Diudo in the backfield.
Against the Jersey Devils.
Offsides on the Devils, though.
So the Devils shooting themselves in the foot right now. Giving Marist more chances to score. We're down to 2:20 left to go here in the 2nd quarter. Marist trails 7-0. This is their most legitimate scoring opportunity this game.
Marist is getting their chance here before the half is out. They'd like to even it up and start it all over again at halftime. I'm sure Coach Fardy will be talking about the penalties and, the trick plays by FDU, which looks like it is their trademark.
That's what's gotten them the 7-0 lead. Marist splits the I formation in the backfield. McCourt, quick drop back. He'll run it himself. And he will be very close to that 1st down.
QB sneak.
McCourt with the keeper. He will be close to the 1st down.
Marist choosing to do that on 2nd and 4.
I think we have a timeout on the field.
Short of a 1st down by about a yard. 3rd and 1.
So 3rd and 1 now as Marist discusses their plan. And they obviously have called a timeout. One of the attendants, assistant coaches out there talking in the huddle, taking care of somebody.
As they'll bring out the chains once again.
And the call had been made from the press box downstairs, short by about a yard, and that's basically what we see here. But we'll see what the officials get. And it is a yard short of first down, 3rd and 1.
Short.
Marist bring in some fresh troops off the sideline. Let's see what they run here. You'd have to believe something up the middle, straight up the middle, maybe with Diudo.
Devils ready to stop them at 3rd and 1.
2:07 left to go. Here in a second, 3rd and 1 from the FDU 29. Marist putting 3 backs in the backfield as they've set up for the wishbone. Oh, and they got Marist to jump.
It's like number 70 for the Red Foxes jumped on the play as FDU looked very pumped up for that play. A few hollers from the line there.
That's Jason Manu, the left guard.
Shooting himself in the foot, like you said.
Manu has spent some time at center.
He's probably not used to that, snap count, being off center. He's usually the one snapping the ball back. That's, he was a little anxious on the play. Tough play from Marist after calling a timeout, using one of their timeouts. 5-yard penalty.
And it's strange to see Manu or any offensive lineman jump like that. FDU had been shouting for about 5 seconds. You knew that's what they were trying to do. Yet Manu took a few steps.
They accomplished it after you got what they wanted here.
So Marist faces a 3rd and 6. Diudo in motion. McCourt to pass, rolling out right. Plant, fires this way. Caught by Brian Rogers, the tight end.
And they are going to be very close to the first down here, I believe.
Record complete to Rogers.
Another flag down, though, Brian.
Down.
And it will be against Marist, judging by FDU's early reaction.
It looked like they might have gotten the first down on the play, as it is, I'm sure, if it wasn't for the penalty on Marist, they would bring out the chains again. Did you have a call on that yet? Holding, you think, or?
Maybe. Flag thrown at the 30-yard line, just over the line of scrimmage, near the defensive line.
Well, a little confusion down on the field about a reception, it sounds like.
Now, we know Rogers caught the ball. He cradled it and fell on the ground.
We have the video tape.
Yes, we can go to instant replay if we have to. At the 30-yard line. And that's when the flag was dropped.
They're bound to call up here soon with all the flags. They have to come back.
We have yet to see a call from the referee. But the flag was thrown from the other side of the field.
Ineligible receiver downfield.
And it's from that right-hand side.
We have an illegal man downfield.
So either somebody did not check in,
another 5 yards,
or one of the offensive linemen pushed the defensive lineman too far back.
Yeah, it looked like there were a lot of people out looking to receive the ball from Marist. It looked like there was a lot of people downfield, as we'll have 3rd and 11, I believe.
3rd and 11 is the call. McCourt passing once again. He's only completed one tonight. Incomplete. Nice defense by the FDU secondary.
McCourt trying to complete, but Waterman stopped.
Waterman coming up with that flag.
McCourt rolled out to his right, brought the line with him. I was looking to throw right. Good defense by the Devils.
4th down.
As Marist will be forced upon here before halftime.
Number 40, Rob Waterman, coming up from his defensive back position to knock that ball out of bounds. Super job by him. Great read on his part.
Marist did jump on the play.
Kick going high. FDU will let it drop. I think Okang McBride was a little surprised to see the ball drop behind him. He had not located the ball yet.
Marist got lucky there. There definitely was a Marist player who jumped on the play on the left side of the line. They could have been, back more. I believe FU will probably try to just run out the clock and be content with what they have here and not have a, a turnover in their own own area.
They have 126 to kill here in the first half. We'll see what they choose.
One never knows with that pass, that arm of Costello though.
True, he's not connected on too many big plays. The biggest pass was, of course, the fake punt where he connected. Marist jumping once again. They stop the run, but the flag
Flags fly.
Costello gives to Liberato. Referee throws a few flags.
And it was that left side of the line once again for the Red Foxes.
McCourt might not have to ice down his arm tonight, but the referees.
Offsides against Marist.
I think the referees have thrown more flags than both quarterbacks have thrown passes tonight.
There's no doubt about that one. It looks like FDU is intimidating Marist a little bit, even though, Marist is, jumping a lot, it seems like.
They're doing something with regard to Marist's head. Marist is just not playing within themselves. They may be a little bit too excited, but they have fallen prey to some psychological game that FDU may be using here. We remember the yelling that drew Marist offsides on offense on a crucial 3rd and 1. Liberato getting the call, running along the far side, running parallel, getting out to the 22, 23-yard line.
It doesn't look like FDU plays like your basic brand of football. They run some weird, quick snaps and the intimidation.
First down.
Their 2-5 record, however, doesn't reflect that it works too well.
No, it doesn't. First down for the FDU Devils, thanks to Liberato. We talked with Todd Manerville, the SID for FDU before the game. He said that FDU is a combination grinded out offense, lighted up offense. We've seen both tonight. It has been successfully for FDU, their lighted up trick play type of offense that has worked.
Liberato pounding up the middle.
Liberato straight up the middle, what he's called on to do, the grinded out type of back who exemplifies their grinded out type of game. Down to 19 seconds left to go in the half, and FDU has succeeded in running out the clock.
That probably will be their last play, as I think it just dropped 5 degrees here. A little chill ran through me here as the time runs out with 5 seconds left here in the half.
FDU coaches want to see another play run, but their coaches on the field say no. Julian Wise knocked around and dragged down at the 34.
A low kick on the kickoff, as we talked about last half, with maybe the cold feet. As I'm sure FDU and Marist are both inside at halftime, warming up a little bit. A couple of hot chocolate, as did we.
Yeah, they were not the only ones inside warming up. Marist taking over as we begin the second half.
First and 10, Marist.
First and 10 for the Red Foxes from the 39. McCourt still at quarterback. Malali and Daito still in the backfield. Daito gets the call. He's got some room on this side. Stumbles a little bit, out of bounds at the 45.
Daito with a quick step to the outside. He tried to juke the last defender there. Got out to the 45 for the first down.
That's a 10-yard gain. It'll be a Red Fox
10-yard gain for Daito. And we talked about just during our quick halftime show that Marist has dominated the statistics, however many statistics that is, 110 yards on the ground, 110 yards total offense. Brian, obviously Marist has to do something drastically different here in the second half.
I think the run to Daito, I think we're going to see, only for a few yards, I think we're going to see Daito get the ball a lot here in the second half. He only had 8 carries. I know he's, hampered a little by his injury, but I think for Marist, just, to get back, they're not having to get, to tie the score up, they're having to go to Daito more.
Exactly. Daito has meant instant offense for the Red Foxes in the past, and it would be foolish of Coach Pardee to ignore him.
Second and 8.
He's carried the ball twice right here on the first series of the half.
And he's already come up with a first down. He gets the call again, cross midfield, inside FDU territory.
First down, Red Foxes, as they're moving the ball right here.
That's
on
Daito
the opening
again.
drive.
Red Fox first down.
The second first down Daito's picked up here in the half.
Ball is spotted at the 44. And McCourt comes up underneath center. Diudo again, behind the left side of the line, down to the 33.
To Don
The
Diudo.
offensive line just surging up the field. Diudo, the small frame that he has, get behind those big blockers,
15
and
yards on that running play.
15 yards on that play.
After his team's performance in the first half, while they did show signs of brilliance, they were not the Marist College team we're used to seeing. I'm sure head coach Rick Pardee gave his team a tongue lashing in the locker room.
Especially about those, foolish penalties and those, those plays, those quick snap plays by FDU.
McCourt again to Diudo, straight up the middle. He's got some room. He slips off a few defenders down to the 10.
Diudo with a big gain there. Looked like he would be
by
tackled a few times, just
Diudo.
slipped through the arms of the FDU defenders. As Diudo has become the offense here early.
They have not looked to anyone but Don Diudo here in opening up the third quarter.
Another first down on the 10-yard line.
We'll see if they call Diudo's number again here. And they do. He gets the pitch back. Marist strings out the line along the right side. One of the FDU defenders shooting up and stopping Diudo.
I believe that's the sixth consecutive
Diudo's
pitch or
14th
handoff to
carry.
Diudo.
He has over
Sixth.
110
That's his
yards.
14th carry, and he's up over the 100-yard mark just like that.
Amazing. He had 60 yards in the first half on only 8 carries, plus figuring the fact he played only sparingly in the first half. He sat out for a couple of series, and he's still the amazing Don Diudo.
And it's 50 yards already this quarter. We've played a few minutes.
Whistle
Flag.
going off.
Our old friend is back.
They were practicing, I'm sure, different flag throwing movements during halftime.
Yeah, I think they're going the overhand method.
12:29 as we're just underway here in the third quarter. Temperature has remained stable, although the wind has picked up a little bit, so we're still in the low 30s, high 20s for temperatures.
That's an illegal procedure penalty against the Jersey Devils.
The referees decide it's an illegal procedure penalty against the Jersey Devils, pushing Marist even closer to the goal line. Marist operating from the 5.
Long snap count.
McCourt may be audibilizing here. Play going to Diudo, struggling for the end zone. Did he get in?
Wise is sent down.
Got pushed back quite a lot there, but it's the forward progress that we have to remember where the ball got before he got pushed back. That will be marked.
Second and goal.
Third down.
Third and goal, excuse me.
3 in the backfield.
Marist going to the T formation. Touchdown!
Touchdown, Red Foxes, right up the middle.
Red Fox.
And it looks like Chuck Mullally from first glance, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it did look like Mullally on the carry as they gave it to somebody else finally for the touchdown. I'm sure they were all keying on Diudo for that play.
That was Carrero with the touchdown.
Kyle Carrero getting the call. Mullally was in there, through the lead block. Carrero able to lean over the top for the touchdown. Marist trails by a point.
Marist trying to tie it up here on the extra point.
Matt Lynch in to kick the extra point. He got it. We're tied at 7.
The sophomore Matt Lynch puts it through just barely. As Marist ties it up quickly here. In the third quarter, it looks a little bit like FDU's first drive of the game.
Exactly. Remember, FDU went 60 yards in 10 plays. Marist doing about the same thing.
Resembles it a lot, I think.
Capped off by the 3-yard run by Kyle Carrero, just as FDU's opening drive was capped off by the 3-yard run by Mike Liberato.
The Marist fans have something to cheer for finally, as they take their hands out of their pockets.
Now, you were over on the far side during halftime, Brian. I'm curious, how many Marist fans are down here tonight?
Well, I I believe there are a lot. When I was over there, I think they all headed back to the car for some more, as I was looking for a few of my friends to get me some food or something, but it just didn't work out.
I checked out the football field during halftime, frozen solid, for the most part.
That kid hurt when you get tackled, I'm sure.
That's right. We've seen a couple of people slip and fall down tonight, too. The cleats have not been able to catch early on, although that has been the exception more than the rule. Marist scores at the 11:31 mark. We are tied at 7. This one going to one of the middlemen for FDU. He'll let it bounce. He touched it and jumped on it in time. Michael Johnson, the D-back and special teams player, touched it with his left hand and was alert enough to fall on the ball, not try to pick it up and advance it.
Smart play there by the, by the FDU player. If you fumble the ball, you just gotta pull it. You've seen so many times in the past. He was trying to pick up the ball and they botch it.
It just doesn't work. Because you're off balance when you start doing that. Someone will come up from behind you and hit you, and the next thing you know, it's the other team's ball. Costello on it, quarterback, he'll throw on first down. On the near side, did he catch it? Yes, he did.
Pass is complete.
That's number 86, Mike Matt, the big tight end. Backup tight end, as a matter of fact.
Mike Matt.
Matt with a sprawling catch, had a Red Fox defender in front of him, and looked the ball right into his chest. They pick up 8. It is 2nd and 2. Have not called Mike Matt's name too much tonight, only twice if I remember.
A handoff there. Looks like they might have the first down.
Handoff going to Liberato, and I think Liberato did get him the 2 necessary yards.
Right side. First down, Jersey Devils.
Ball is spotted at the 40.
Why did we have the ball in there to start the second half? They were in that counter the first play and kicked all that. Yeah, but he took first place. That would have made more sense.
Costello on a crossing pattern,
Pass
looking
intended
for
Chris
a tech side.
Complete.
Tech side looking for a flag,
Jersey
but
Devils.
none on the play as the ball was quickly thrown. I don't even think the Marist defender knew he threw the ball.
No, and a tech side also looking for the pass on the outside. Costello threw it on the inside.
Second and 10 in FDU territory.
Liberato wrapped up as soon as he got the ball.
Costello hands to Liberato. He's hit behind the line for loss.
Good defense by Marist so far in this series. As Marist players seem a little excited, as are the fans on the other side of the field. They might be getting psyched up here as Diudo started them off quickly. Hopefully the trend will continue for the Red Foxes.
Jeremy Thode, one of the earliest Red Foxes there. Thode, who plays in the middle of the defensive line, came right up over center.
Thode was very quick off the ball on that play.
Costello to pass. Lofts it up, nobody home.
Pass is incomplete.
Another quick pass by Costello to the wide receiver. Nowhere near the ball once again on that pass play, as the punting unit will come on.
And Jack Hoban made an early cut. Costello overthrew him by 10, 15 yards.
I don't know whether the receivers, Hoban or whatever, is, running the wrong patterns or what, but he's missed the receivers the last few times.
Frank Flefka, high kick, will bounce at the 40. Marist will let it roll. Takes an FDU roll and will be spotted at the 38.
As Diudo and the Marist offense come back on the field.
Now we saw in that last drive, the touchdown drive, led by the running of Diudo. He carried the ball 7-8 straight plays, finally capped off by Kyle Carrero's 3-yard plunge. I'd imagine we see the same thing here, Brian. You'd have to think so.
I'd put my money on it, I
The
think.
ball around the 36, 37-yard line.
Diudo is the money man.
I mean, you figure it works so well for Coach Pardee and his staff. Why change it? Here's the counter gap. Don Daito gets back. A couple yards, getting to the 40.
Daito is found and brought down by O'Kenge McBride.
Some good blocking by Marist. I saw some big hits in there for the line.
Second down.
2nd and 7. Daito again behind the block of Mullally, straight up the middle over center.
Daito on the carry.
Out to the 45.
Attention, last call for
Gained a few on the
50-50
play.
tickets.
He'll be 3rd and
Last call for the 50-50
probably 3 or 4
tickets.
on the play.
Depending on where they spot the ball. Ball rests at the 44. So 3rd and 4 for the Marist O. Pitch back to none other than Don Daito. Trying to string it out, and he'll be wrapped up and brought back to the 40-yard line.
Big play by the FDU defender. Looked like he came in from the secondary and shot the gap. To get a number on that.
Number 40, Rob Wartleman, second time he stopped a drive like that. He's been one of the few Jersey Devils who's been able to keep up with Don Daito tonight.
Very few. As the Marist will have to punt once again.
Weigler, shaky punt, angled towards the sidelines and rolls to the 24.
Jersey Devil offense takes over.
The Devils come back onto the field with 7:28 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Score tied at 7. And something we did not touch upon at the beginning of the game, but something that we will obviously see is that it's going to be a low-scoring affair, Brian.
Definitely, it's not a shootout. You know, teams keeping the ball on the ground for the most part. You know, FDU throwing the ball a little bit more than Marist, but it definitely become a punting game, back and forth here.
So the punter's getting a workout tonight. Costello with the handoff.
There hasn't been much for FDU up the middle tonight, except for those draw plays that they were running in the first half. I've noticed a few times, 1st and 2nd down, Madison stopped and put FDU in that, you know, 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10 position.
Starting at
We
about
did not
6
see
o'clock.
the draw play on FDU's first series of the second half. They have yet to show it to us here, where we're only at 2nd down. But you have to believe that Marist made the necessary adjustments in the locker room. Costello. A tech side stepped out of bounds.
I think there might have been a flag on the play. It looked like the Marist defender, number 11, hit the play a little bit downfield, though, but no flag on the play.
Jason DiTullio is the player you referred to. The linebacker, Kevin Simonetti,
basketball team. Doubleheader.
had covered Chris at tech side, and the tech side, of course, stepped out of bounds, and once you do that, you can't come back in and catch that ball.
Might as well stay on the sideline and warm up.
A tech side tried to do the
Jersey Devils
tightrope
set it, 3rd down
down the
and 10 to
sideline,
go.
but it didn't work. Incomplete pass. 3rd down and 10. Liberato still in the backfield. Draw play. Marist read it.
Marist definitely has made the adjustments at halftime. They did not bite on the draw plays, which they were biting for in the first half. The middle isn't there. The straight up the middle plays, which they're, you know, the blatant plays, they're not getting anywhere. And so far, the pass coverage has been fine.
FDU losing 4 yards in the play, almost like a sack for the Red Fox defense. Left going to punt again, and it's not a good one. Marist reacts to it. Punt rolling out at the 47.
It sounded like the kicker just hit it off the toe. That could have hurt a little bit.
Yeah, he's limping a little bit over here on the sidelines as he walks off, and he knows he didn't get a good foot underneath it.
It didn't sound good off his foot, that's for sure. He's explaining to his coach right now. They're not too happy with that punt.
Marist has the ball in FDU territory at the 48.
Jersey Devil D sets.
Go defense!
McCourt handoff to Diuto. He's got some room. He's got the first down. He's down to the 35.
Don Diuto on the carry.
Diuto just running wild all of a sudden over this FDU defense.
First down,
Nobody's
Red Fox.
catch him so far. First down for Marist, as they are once again in Fairleigh Dickinson territory.
Marist scored on their first drive of the second half. This is their third. Whistle going off.
Looks like they forgot to move the chains on that one.
So Marist will go back to the huddle if they have some time. We talked before about Coach Pardee switching his backs in the backfield early in the first half. Remember, we saw the set of Mullally and Diuto, then we saw Wise. John Kelly was in there for a couple of plays. Kyle Carrero was in there for a couple of plays. Good to see Mullally and Diuto back out there as the tandem in the backfield.
Yeah, those are the guys that, you know, have had the ball and will get the ball. They're the big guys for Marist.
Diuto. Mullally out in front of him, throwing a couple nice blocks. Mullally not selfish at all, not a selfish back. We talked about how he got 8 touchdowns last year in the last 3 or 4 games after not scoring at all. Ended up being Marist's leading scorer. Think it would affect him this year coming back. He was injured a little bit. Doesn't bother him. He's not scored all the touchdowns he did last year.
Yeah, Mullally, the big back, you know, throws the blocks for Diuto and runs into touchdowns also. A little bit like the refrigerator. He lets Diuto do all the work down the field. He gets the glory and runs it in for the touchdown.
The fake from McCourt, flag down, dumps it out on the screen pass. Diuto wrapped up and slams out at the 30, but remember the flag.
Number 46, Sylvester, with the tackle on the 42-yard line. The huddle by the officials.
Offsides against Marist.
We haven't seen as many flags as the first half yet.
Now both teams have cleaned up their act, so to speak, here in the second half. And especially for Marist, a penalty-free drive on that touchdown drive to open the second half.
Penalties have dictated the way the game has been going so far.
FDU waves off the penalty.
Penalty decline.
So Marist faced with a 3rd and 5.
To Diuto. There's no gain on the play.
Ball spots at the 30.
Diuto and Mullally once again in the backfield.
Phelan and Delpree the wideouts. McCourt will throw. Has time. Over Phelan's head and almost picked off.
McCourt, with all the time in the world, had Phelan across the middle, just overthrew him a little bit. Almost picked off by the Devils defender.
Looked like Sylvester again in on the play, either him or Ken Kraft.
You've mentioned Sylvester's name quite often tonight.
And a reminder to our fans at home, Brian and myself will select our players of the game. 1 composite player from FDU, 2 players from Marist. 1 on offense and 1 on defense. Sylvester, definitely a candidate for our FDU player of the ball game. 4th down, Marist will go for it. McCourt lofts it up. Incomplete.
Pass is incomplete.
He was looking for, I believe, Scott DeFalco, if I read the number correctly. No, that's Daniel Phelan. Phelan running a corner route into the end zone, and McCourt overthrew him by a few yards.
That's a tough pass for McCourt. He's rolling to his right. You know, he's a lefty. And he had to come back across his body and throw that into the corner end zone. It was a nice throw, but a little bit out of the end zone.
Not a bad gamble by Coach Pardee, I don't believe.
Their own 30-yard line.
FDU starts at their own 30.
Yeah, I don't think they had anything to lose with that play. I mean, FDU is posted, as you said, deep, 30 midway in their own territory.
Right.
And with Marist's defense so far this half, and all the first half really, there's nothing to lose.
Right, Marist defense has been rock solid for the most part. They've just been chipped away by FDU on a couple of trick plays. Also, Coach Pardee might have seen something on that last play. Pitch out to Liberato. He's strung out. along the line of scrimmage. Run out of bounds on the far side.
Mike Liberato, sweep right.
Didn't get much.
Check that, sweep left.
FDU can't find the answers this half. Liberato hasn't picked up anything on the ground. Marist pursuit is strong. If I was Marist, I'd
second and 9.
be careful. Watch out for a reverse or anything here with their pursuit. They're just all, they're all over the runner when they get the ball.
That's right, we have not seen too many trick plays from FDU since early on in the second quarter. They've been kind of quiet. Marist has adjusted nicely to everything they've thrown at him so far. Costello fires, tipped and out of bounds.
Once again, it looked like it went through the hands of the FDU receiver. It might have been tipped by the Marist receiver, as you said. Costello throwing a bullet to the left side of the field, the Marist side of the field.
The passing game has been nil for both teams, although FDU has made the most of what they've been given despite the cold weather and despite the drop passes.
Costello not piling up the stats that we've heard that he's had throughout the season so far.
On a cold night, it's tough to do that. 3 receivers on the right side for Costello. And he is immediately sacked.
Quickly on the play, in from Marist. Jeremy Thoud, as they went to that 3-receiver offense set once again.
Jeremy Thoud shoots the gap from his defensive line position. Remember, he plays right over the center, and that's exactly where he came. Hunt for FDU, sidewinder at the 50, gets by Harris. He's got to chase it down, and he'll let it roll.
A little bit of an errant snap there by the center for FDU. Nice grab by the punter. Great roll. As we said, Marist held FDU, and they're back out on the field. They weren't afraid to gamble on that last possession.
First and 10. Marist on the 35.
As we move down on that punt to the other side of the press box.
That's right. What you don't see is us moving on top of the press box because there are rows of cameras and coaches in front. It's a fumble on the snap. FDU says they have it, and they do.
That has to hurt a little bit.
Courtesy of
Marist driving the ball a little bit this half. FDU not able to produce anything offensively. That's their best movement of the ball this half. Are down rather deep in Marist territory here.
Defensive lineman Anthony Oso coming up with the ball as the snap between center Scott Kerr and Brian McCourt was just not there. We're down to 2:35 left to go here in the third quarter. The third quarter just flying right along, much to our pleasure. So not too often you see the mishandling of the snap by McCourt.
FDU found about a yard in the play. Second down and 9.
And McCourt usually very sure-handed. It is a rarity, as we do have a Marist player down on the field. We hope it's not serious.
He's not moving at all. Very cold down there in the field, so that's going to be some type of pain for him to feel it.
Definitely, as the Marist trainer out to see him. And we'll be back in a second here in New Jersey.
So the outstanding defensive lineman for the Red Foxes injured on that last play. We just called his name the play before. And big loss for the Red Foxes, to say the least. They need him back.
Jeremy Thoud is a big part of the defense. I don't know who the replacement is right now. He'll be asked to do a big job here.
It looks like they brought in Frank Farella, transferred him from defensive end. He's a backup defensive end, and they put him right over the ball where Thoud plays in the nose tackle position.
It's 2nd and 8. The score is all tied up here in Madison, New Jersey at 7-7. 2:23 left in the third period.
Perhaps not surprisingly to see that score tied. Figure Marist looks a little bit better on paper, although FDU does have some outstanding superstars. We talked about a Tech side and Costello and Liberato and Pierre, who are all terrific offensive weapons. But the equalizing factor has been the cold weather tonight and some of the penalties. 2nd and 8. Costello lofts it up, overthrows his man, picked off. No, incomplete. Marist D-back dropped it.
It's incomplete.
That's Bruce Harris from his D-back position.
Number 6, Bruce Harris, almost killed a spectacular interception down around the 10-yard line.
5-8-3.
Might have been just as well that he knocked that ball down. It's 3rd and 8 now. Marist would have had the ball deep in their own territory, probably around the 8-yard line.
Tickets, ladies and
Harris
gentlemen,
was the proverbial blanket, and on this cold night, the
890-583.
electric blanket on the tech side on that play. Good reaction time by Harris to turn around.
Excellent. So far we have the microwave and the electric blanket for Marist.
Costello pass again under pressure, fires off at tech side's hands once again.
Pass is
They were
incomplete.
looking for, nope, not
You're
at
a
tech
winner.
side.
Come pick it up at the
Number
press
13,
box.
Jack Hoban, who's had trouble pulling in a few passes tonight.
Yeah, Hoban, 3 or 4 passes, I believe, through his hands. One of Costello's favorite receivers, I believe. As they're lining up for a long field goal. This is a very long field goal.
Tom Lips will kick the ball if he gets a chance.
I saw Lips in warm-ups booting a few quite a distance away.
Timeout.
I think he does have the leg, although this is
That'll be a
bomb.
50-yarder.
I believe the wind is with him,
Charge to
although
Marist.
I can't feel it anymore.
Can't feel too much from up here in the press box. The ball is right now at the 34, I'd say.
50-yard field goal, that would be.
Our winner is
At
Jack
least a
Lumbar.
50-yard field goal. 50, 51-yard field goal.
You want a total of
Coaches want to talk
$25.
about it. We'll take a
Not bad
timeout
for
ourselves.
anything
We'll come
in FDU.
right back and see what Tom Lips will do. Madison, New Jersey, Tom Lips will attempt a 50-yard field goal.
This is quite amazing. I don't think I've seen this in a long time.
Ball spotted at the 40. It's not gonna make it. It was
kick is
low to
short.
begin with.
Short.
The ball falls about 10 yards short. It hit the goal line.
That was a long field goal. That just dictates it's there. Obviously, I think he has a leg.
Lips just coming off, swearing at himself, thought he had the potential to knock it through, and I'm sure he does. He had the wind with him. Not a strong wind, but he had the wind itself, and he thought he could make it. Not there, though.
Obviously, he didn't get all of his leg into it. You know, he thinks he can. I've seen him do it in practice, some long ones.
But yet you tip your hat to the FDU coaching staff. 7-7 game. No one's showing much on offense. Have to get the points where you can. Counter gap. McCourt on the keeper. Throws. Caught. Beyond the 50-yard line. Dan Del Pree, I believe, with a reception.
That's an 18-yard reception.
18-yard reception.
First down.
Out to the 48-yard line.
Dan Del Pree's an interesting story. Del Pree set the all-time receiving
gonna put
records
them in
last
Jersey
year
Devil
when he was a
territory.
junior. Now as a senior, Del Pree has been ignored, most people say, in the offense. He has not caught as many balls as he has last year. Here's Diudo running straight ahead.
Del Pree hasn't been looked to as much.
We have another
This
happy
year.
birthday wish.
The addition of Fallon really coming on this
Brian
year
Tiny
maybe takes a little
Hines,
of pressure
he's
off.
23 today.
Maybe it helps the Marist
Happy
offense
birthday,
a little
Brian.
bit. Having two very dangerous receivers out there.
They have used Daniel Fallon a lot. They've looked at Craig Rogers. Plus the fact Scott DeFalco's come back. He's caught a few balls. He's been switched from running back to wide receiver. And you can't forget, the emphasis is now been focused on the running game. They're not looking much to the passing game anymore. It's Diudo, Mullally, Kelly, Wise, and Carrero.
Diudo took it up the
Don
took it up to the
Diudo
field
carry.
around the first down marker.
He found 6 yards.
As you were saying, JW, a lot of weapons for Marist now. Their offense, they have so many guys that they can go to. It's not just, you know, one option, although Diudo is their main option. They have many different parts where they can go and get big plays from them. He might bring out the chains here once again.
Ball spotted inside the 40 at about the 38, and
Here comes
they
the
will
sticks.
bring the sticks out.
I think they got it.
I think so too. Looks like a good spot. First down.
First down.
We have 42 seconds left here in the third quarter. Marist Another first down by Donnie Diudo. The game is all tied up at 7.
Diudo continues to be his outstanding self, continues to come up big, well over 100 yards rushing today. Might be coming close to 200 yards by the end of the game if he keeps going the way he has.
They keep giving him the ball, and he's taking full advantage of his opportunities as we're looking at 1st and 10.
Diudo not in the backfield now, split wide. Kyle Carrero wrapped up
right
and blasted back as time's ticking down here in the 3rd quarter.
About 2nd and 4.
2nd and 4 for the Red Foxes. They have to give Diudo a blow once in a while. He is the workhorse.
Down to 2 seconds, and I don't think they'll get the play off, and McCourt will just walk off. So the 3rd quarter ends. Marist scores. They tie the game at 7.
The 3rd quarter.
Provide your impressions of this 3rd quarter.
Still locked at
Marist
7.
looking a lot better this quarter. They scored on the first possession, as did FDU in the beginning of the game. Looks like opposite halves here. Marist playing a little bit better. There are no penalties this half. I mean, a few. I mean, not compared to last half. There's nothing. Marist with good field position now, looking to take the lead in the 4th quarter.
So we have approached the 4th quarter. We'll take a quick break. Be right back for the final quarter of play here in Madison. Madison, New Jersey, everybody. J.W. Stewart along with my partner, Brian Markham. Thanks for staying with us, everybody. As we begin the 4th quarter, Marist faces a 2nd and 4 from the 38 of FDU. Marist looking to drive once again and break this 7-all tie. Carrero is the lone setback. McCourt to the air. Just long.
Correction, the play was 2nd and 4. Now it's 3rd and 4 with the incomplete pass.
Bursting up the middle of the field on single coverage, not a bad idea. It'll outrun most of the people, I'm sure, that try to cover him. This game has become very exciting also. Heating up on the field, not in the stands, but that's all right.
Not at all. Fans wrapped in blankets and with the hoods up. We're doing the best we can to stay warm.
3rd down.
And the Red Foxes trying to turn up the heat on the field. 3rd and 4. McCourt will fire again. Into the flat. Caught by Carrero. Flag down. Carrero's inside the 20.
Carrero completed
Carrero
pass.
wide open on the left side of the field, near the left hash mark, as there is an injured Marist player down the field also. I noticed FDU going back to the tactics of yelling and screaming before the snaps.
So you're trying to draw Marist offside. It worked way back in the 1st quarter. And Marist, of course, with the injured player down, that is not Kyle Carrero. Carrero is back in the huddle.
That's a personal foul against FDU.
Personal foul against the Devils of Fairleigh Dickinson. I hope it's not related to the player that is injured down on the field right now.
Well, the flag was thrown while Carrero was still running with the ball, so that could very well be where it was. The flag was thrown in the middle of the field,
in addition to the play.
where the linebackers usually hang out. And that may be, the referee may have seen that from across the field.
Once again, the Marist player not showing too much movement.
Marist has already lost Jeremy Thode on defense. We don't know if he'll return next series. A personal foul being called there by the referee, as you see. We will take ourselves a quick timeout with the injury. We'll return to Madison, New Jersey in just a moment.
Free walking off the field. He has been down for quite a while. We hope he's okay, as looks like another big loss to the Marist squad.
But back here for 1st and 10, Del Pree leveled in the secondary. And he's not feeling too well right now. We don't know if he'll return at all. Mullally gets the call. Pounds his way down to the 10. That means with Daniel Del Pree out,
Mullally, who sweeps the
Michael
left side.
Bello will be filling in for him.
And I believe the main target for McCourt, if he options to pass, will be Fallon.
Fallon, or also remember Diudo 2 plays ago on the post pattern wide open. So McCourt may try to run that play again.
2 in the backfield this time, 2 wide right.
Bello and Fallon on the right side. Bello in the slot. Call goes to Diudo. He got maybe 2 on a 2nd and 5 play.
Dairu gets the carry, but slips and falls at the line.
As we mentioned, the field very, it's solid, frozen out there, and also
Red Foxes
surprisingly
face
slippery.
a 3rd down and 5.
So Dairu not able to pick up any yardage because of the false footing. 3rd and 5 for the Foxes. Pitch back to Dairu, winding his way down close to the 1st down marker.
Hand off to
but maybe a yard short.
Depending on the mark of the officials here will determine whether you got the 1st down or not. Marist in field goal range, definitely here. We're looking for 7. We've seen Lips, his potential. He goes for the 50-yard. They want 7. They won't want to have FDU hanging around for the tie.
No, timeout
As the
discharged
official
to
timeout
FDU.
on the field. Nope. Bailey Dickinson took the timeout.
If you're taking the timeout, we'll take one as well.
Dairu was about a
Don't
yard
you
short.
dare go anywhere. Back to Madison, New Jersey. Crucial 4th down play for Marist. Score tied 7-7. Still a lot of time left in the 4th, but Marist needs to establish that they're here and that they're going to take control of this game.
Very loud here at Madison all of a sudden. Well, we're going.
Marist lines up.
JW and I talked who might get the ball here as the 3 backs are in the backfield. Look, I think for Mullally to get the ball here.
I'd have to say so as well. John Kelly and Kyle Carrero also in the backfield. Mullally, I believe, got the ball. And
Chuck Mullally 4.
I think he got the 1st down. I think the line surged enough so that he'll get past that plane.
Great surge by the Marist offensive line.
Marist.
Mullally carried the ball, got the 1st down. Marist now in a great position to put 6 on the board.
Time continues to tick down. 12:52. Marist would like to eat as much of the clock as they can, maybe waste a little time down here, but they have to score some points here and break open this tie.
Definitely. They take a little bit of wind out of the very loud and boisterous FDU team.
Dairu, he's got the opening. He's headed for the corner, and he's in.
Touchdown, Don Dairu. Saw a little opening, just squeaked in on the left side of the end zone.
Dairu.
With 12:27 left in the quarter,
13-7.
Marist takes the lead, 13-7.
Matt Lynch will come on and kick the extra point.
Extra point.
Very big extra point here.
Faked. McCourt in trouble. Has to throw it up.
The point was blocked. It was picked up by a Marist
Interesting
player.
play there by Marist. I'm a little bit surprised by the call there.
Actually, from what they are saying down in the booth, they say the kick was blocked. We didn't hear any sound of the ball hitting anybody else. I think it was fake.
No
I think it was a
extra
blatant
point, a
fake by
touchdown.
McCourt. It's McCourt's running ability.
Would win it 13
But I didn't see any lead blockers though on the other side, on the left side, the side McCourt was going to. It might have been, I don't know, a little bit of maybe a busted fake there.
Could have been yeah, probably that's what it was. Somebody did not pick up a blocking assignment because the special teams players came over from the left side of the Marist offensive line.
Fairly
Came screaming in
sets
at
to
McCourt.
receive.
McCourt couldn't do anything but try to throw the ball, and no one was home.
It obviously was a run by McCourt, and he just tried to make something out of, nothing that was there. He had to throw the ball to get rid of it.
And that was a crucial extra point for Marist, as you mentioned, Brian, because now FDU can score and just tie with a touchdown and has the chance to take the lead with the extra point. And with Tom Lips in the game, it's pretty much a chip shot for a PAT.
Definitely. He'll put your money on him making an extra point if FDU does, in fact, put the ball in the end zone here.
So the pressure now is on the Marist defense. Still a lot of time left in the fourth quarter. Anything can happen. 12:27 left to go in the ball game. Kick picked up by one of the up men, Rich O'Connell. Back up wide.
That's Rich O'Connell running back.
O'Connell probably could have let that ball bounce out of bounds and take the penalty. Marist has had short kicks, this game and in the past.
FDU
Would have been a bad
goes to 10
idea.
on their 36.
But FDU will start on their own 36, which is not bad field position at all.
Costello will return to the air. Complete to a tech side, and he's dumped at midfield.
Chris the tech side.
14-yard pass there to a tech side from Costello over the middle. A good hit once the ball was caught.
1st and 10.
By a tech side.
A tech side has been quiet all night. Comes out with a big play here. Good for 18+ yards. He's across midfield into Marist territory, and he bounced right up after that crushing hit. He lines up now on the near side. Rondo Liberato gets a couple.
Liberato was tripped up in the backfield.
Costello gives to Liberato, who pounds up the middle.
May have gotten a yard, and did. It will be 2nd and 9. Clock ticking.
Finds a yard.
11:40 left to go in the ball game.
FDU trying to counter Marist running game here with their own passing game.
As Costello is trying to heat things up here for the Jersey Knights. Liberato again. Marist D-line collapsing on that play.
There's nothing, as we said it before, we said it over and over again, there's nothing up the middle for FDU tonight. The Marist defenders are just throwing the offensive line of FDU away and getting right to the runner.
Liberato manages to pick up 2 yards on the play. Jersey Devils face a 3rd and 7 from the 46.
Passing down, either the pass, I'm sure we'll see a pass here, but you always have to watch out for that draw play.
They bring out Jack Hoban on the near side. Through the hands of a tech side. He had it on a slant out.
He was there.
Pass intended for Chris Atexide.
Chris Atexide had the ball slither through his hands once again. As Marist will send out their kick return team. Pretty safe bet, I think, that FDU will be punting here.
Up and down night for Chris Atexide. We've seen him catch a couple 1st down plays and something like that, which would have been a big gainer. Went right through his hands. Bruce Harris fields at his 17, running parallel, trying to turn the corner, and he will. He's out past midfield, juking a couple people. He's into the open, looking for the TD. He's got in.
There is a flag on the play, JW.
There's a flag on the play.
Oh, what a return there.
Flag at midfield where Harris made one of his cuts to the inside of the field.
The flag was very early in the play, though. It did pop up early, I saw. What a run by Harris.
Unbelievable.
We talked about him and his ability to return punts. He just got in the open there, and he was gone.
If it stands, it will be an 83-yard punt return for a TD.
Let's see what we got
here. And it's against FDU, I believe. Touchdown stand. Illegal motion against FDU.
What a run.
That's Bruce Harris's 2nd returned.
If we had a replay of that one, we'd bring it to you immediately. I'd like to see that one again.
83-yard punt return for Bruce Harris. Puts the Foxes up 19-7.
I counted at least 3 tackles Harris broke there. 2 right down here, deep in FDU territory. What a run by Harris. That could put Marist right over the top here.
This might do it. This may be the back-breaking play that Marist was looking for.
As they're going for the 2 points, trying to make it that football score of 21.
Mullally in the backfield, Dido in motion. They'll overload the left side. McCourt on the rollout, the fade, out of the reach of Don Dido.
Good play there. Diudo came in motion across the field. Not too tight a cover, just a little bit overthrown. Marist, though, must be pleased. 19-7, the Red Foxes jump out on top.
And from this standpoint, that wipes out the missed PAT on their last possession.
Exactly. Now, FDU has to get 2 touchdowns to get back in the game, to go ahead in the game.
That's correct. Of course, that would put them ahead 21-19 should they be able to get the PATs.
There is a lot of time left on the clock, but the way Marist is able, if they get the ball back to, with Diudo Amawali to run out the clock. FDU, it's an important possession for them right here. They have to look to score.
Just as Marist had to establish themselves as wanting the game and scoring, FDU has to establish themselves that they can drive down the field. It's something that they have to prove to themselves.
They haven't moved the ball very efficiently since that first series.
But Bruce Harris, just a fantastic run back on his part. Slipped 4 or 5 tackles. Remember, he started running parallel, found the opening on the sideline, turned the corner, and he was gone.
It was a long run. It did take a while.
It took a while. He had to hurdle a couple people, got a couple nice blocks in there from
As you had
the
to hurdle a
special
few
teams.
wires up here. we could see that whole thing.
We were running with Harris on the play. O'Connell takes the ball once again, wrapped up and dragged out of bounds by number 57, Frank Farella.
Once again, FDU will take over from their own 35-yard line as on the last possession. A short kick, but the Marist Killer D is back out there.
10:16 left to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
First and
finally
10.
getting what they want in this game.
And it's turned into an exciting game for the Marist fans, at least.
We're freezing over there on the sideline. I'm sure they're a lot happier now that the Red Foxes are out in front.
Costello, whoop, finds Jack Hoban for a first down.
Completed.
Hoban
Jack
grabs this
Hoban.
one. He's had a rough day. I think had a few completions, dropped more than his share, out to around 48-yard line of the Devils. There goes one of those trains we were talking about before, passing behind us.
Kind of reminds us of our Marist College campus. When trains pass by at all hours of the night, Costello in trouble, unloads out of the breadbasket.
Pass complete.
The speaker here said pass complete, as we clearly see,
Correct.
dropped
Pass was incomplete.
by one of the receivers for FDU once again. Not a good day for the FDU receivers.
FDU's 49-yard line.
I'm sure they're not used to this cold weather. I mean, Costello, has thrown the ball a lot this year. The receivers must be looking for the ball.
I think it was Mike Matt that dropped the ball on the far side. They just brought him out of the game. Costello the throw for the third consecutive time, and he'll be sacked. Chris Pratty in there, along with Joe Riccardi.
Again,
Riccardi and Pratty flushed him out of the pocket, brought him to the sideline. Costello had nowhere to go with the ball, no one to throw the ball to. But it was great downfield coverage. 10-yard loss on the play.
Pratty already leads the team with 9 sacks. Give him another half there, 9.5 for Chris Pratty. Joe Riccardi, who's been a stalwart all season, although we haven't called his name too much tonight. He's always been there, and he's done his job, I think, quietly, leading Marist in tackles game after game after game.
Riccardi, every week, in and out, he's there. He's one of the major stoppers in the Marist defense.
Marist pulls up the D-backs, and it hits Liberato in the back.
Incomplete.
Liberato
Fourth down.
did not think the play was coming to him. Liberato was headed out to take a block, and Costello just threw it in his vicinity.
The pressure once again by the Red Foxes did not give Costello time to look downfield, as we have a long 4th and 20 as FDU punts.
Plefka punting. Remember what Bruce Harris did last time, but he will do no such thing here. Ball rolling out of bounds at the 32.
Well, here comes Marist. I think we'll see a little bit of that stalling technique. I doubt we'll see the ball in the air unless it's, 3rd and deep. Even that time, we probably won't see the ball in the air. 8:44 left in the ball game. Marist out in front by 2 touchdowns, 19-7.
And Marist can easily chew up half of that 8:44 on this drive.
No doubt about it. And with the defense, they shouldn't be afraid to just take as much time off the clock as possible.
Scott DeFalco in motion. McCourt on the delayed draw. Julian Wise had his knee down, popped up and started running again.
Not the NFL yet.
Not yet. But he gets a few yards.
Up to about the 32.
Well, with Wise in the game, I believe that means Daiuto is probably on the far sidelines taking a break. But Mullally is still in the backfield, but Wise is in for Daiuto. So Daiuto, who's rushed for over, I would imagine, 150 yards today,
Definitely.
might have the rest of the night off, depending on what happens in this series and the ensuing series for FDU. Wise again in trouble, up to the 35.
Hand off to Wise, who's sworn by FDU.
We're down under the 8-minute mark here in Madison on our road trip tonight. JW with the call.
Yeah, I decided
Quickly, it's third down.
it was the only road trip we could do this semester. We had a chance to, between here or going to St. John's, and decided to go here instead. And now that I think about it, I don't think I'll ever take a road trip again on a November night when it's about 30 degrees out. But we're having a good time. McCourt to pass, evades one tackler, buys himself some time, hits his receiver, number 88, Gary Cassio, one of the backup wide receivers.
Pass completed, Brian McCourt.
And he got the first down.
Cassio in for his first reception of the day. Great catch by Cassio. McCourt was struggling in the backfield looking for somebody to pass to, and Cassio popped open for the first down.
Good sign to see if you're a Marist fan, getting a chance to see some of the reserves in. Rick Party shaking it up, letting the Julian Wises, the Kyle Carreros, the Rogers, and the Cassios get some PT.
Chuck Mullally
Bowling ahead for a few more yards, adding on to his total as he's getting closer and closer to 75 yards, at least not close to 100 yet. Had 30 at halftime, 30 plus.
Mullally has had quite a few carries in the ball game.
Second and 3. As Mullally gained 7 yards on the last play. Mullally again. Close to the first down, maybe a yard shy.
Hand off to Chuck Mullally.
It'll be close there.
He's hit hard.
Mullally up the middle. FDU must come up with a stand here. They are definitely down to their last few possessions here.
Timeout called on the field. I was just about to
An
mention.
official timeout.
We have not seen a timeout from FDU to stop this clock. This is an official timeout.
A break for FDU.
I'll get a chance to get a
They're gonna
breather
bring
and
out
talk about a few things, and of course they'll bring out the sticks.
The sticks once again.
And he'll be shy by about the nose of the football, maybe a little bit more, about a yard
Short.
shy. 3rd and 1.
Call is 3rd and 1 in FDU territory, about the 44-yard line.
So Marist facing another 3rd and 1, looking to keep the clock moving. The clock stands at 6:01 left in the game. Marist going with their familiar short yardage formation. The wingback set.
Last time we saw set, Chuck Mullally got the ball.
This time it's a fake. McCourt rolling out, lofts it up. He's got a man open. Pass completed. Down to the 15.
Nice fake there by Marist.
To Gibbons.
That's Adam Gibbons, the backup tight end.
Everybody was looking for the run there. McCourt rolled out to his left with his left arm, threw it down to Gibbons, who received the pass and tackled at the 15-yard line.
McCourt just spreading the wealth tonight. He's hit a couple different receivers. He's hit his receivers, he's hit his tight ends, he's hit his running back. He connects it with Adam Gibbons for a big first down. Clock continues to run. Pitch back to Julian Wise. Knocked as he gets close to the 10.
Hand off to Wise.
Wise was popped once receiving the ball. Didn't get much on the play, but that's Marist.
Second down.
Just hold on to the ball here.
Whistle going off, and FDU player down on the field, which will stop the clock at 5:06. Take ourselves a quick timeout, get some information on it, and we will return to Madison, New Jersey, where Marist leads FDU 19-7 here in the fourth.
Play. He seems to be all right as he's escorted off the field. As we're back here at Madison, 2nd and 6 for the Red Foxes.
Ed Sean, one of the backup linebackers, he's injured, so they got to go to their third stringer. 2nd and 6 for the Red Foxes. Mullally hit as he hit the line of scrimmage. Powerful hit there from one of the defensive linemen.
McCord gives it to
Mullally, though, did fall forward after being tackled. A sign of a good running back, always falling forward, as he did pick up a few on the play.
Down to 3rd and 5 as Marist is within scoring range here. A
Third down.
field goal would be a 24-yard attempt, which is within Matt Lynch's range. Mullally, the lone setback, he'll get the call. Man, he will be short by a yard.
Short
Only on the carry
on the
again.
first down, like you said. I'm sure we'll see Matty Lynch in here, the sophomore, for the field goal to put Marist up 22-7. Though I don't see an indication from the sidelines that he will be coming in here.
Clock continues to run at 3:52. FDU not choosing to stop it right yet. They do have, I believe, 2 timeouts left in the second half. I can only recall them taking one.
They'll definitely have to go to their Buffalo Bill type offense. Though it does feel quite like Buffalo.
Pretty much. 3:38, clock is stopped. Marist wants to talk things over. McCord is going to go over to the sidelines. And we'll see if they bring in Matt Lynch. They're going to change a couple players here. Lynch not into the game yet, but here he comes. So they will kick the ball. Attempt to kick
New
a field goal
quarterback.
here. No.
Matt Lynch takes Brian McCord's place.
Lynch, who is the backup quarterback.
One of the Marist College backup quarterback is the field goal kicker also. He's going to get a shot to do something here.
4th and 2, ball is spotted. Oh, McCourt will come back in now. McCourt will hold for Lynch here. The ball will be spotted when the snap is down at the 19, so it'll be a 20. No, at the 14. So it'll be a 24-yard field goal attempt for Matt Lynch.
2 quarterbacks in the backfield.
Lynch, they fake it. McCourt airs it up too long
Passes
for Sean Kelly.
There were two quarterbacks in the backfield. They tried to fake again, unsuccessful for the second time. Well, with 3:32 left, hopefully that won't hurt them. But a field goal there would have put them up by 2 definite touchdowns. I don't, 3:32, not a lot of time for FDU. Maybe Marist just trying to put as many points on the board as possible, but the field goal there would have definitely put them over the top.
You're exactly. Lynch, had he been able to boot the ball, had they chosen to have Lynch boot the ball, Marist would have had 22. Jersey Devils would have had to score 2 touchdowns plus get a 2-point conversion somewhere along the line. And now it's up to the Marist defense, and you get the feeling if Marist can hold here on defense, then the game is pretty much in hand. And the ball is dropped, and the FDU offense isn't doing much to help itself.
No, FDU has not helped himself at all tonight. I think we can't count on 2 hands how many passes have been dropped. It's not to Costello's fault by any means. He's thrown the ball on the money quite a few times. He has a great arm. But the receiver is just not holding on.
And the cold weather definitely coming into effect. You notice most of the receivers trying to catch the ball with their body instead of with their hands. And as you go along in football, you learn that doesn't work. That one almost picked off by Kevin Simonetti. Simonetti read the play.
Pass intended for Chris Atek.
Pass was intended for a tech side, and Simonetti just jumped right in front.
Simonetti's outstanding
3rd down.
player for Marist. He's always up there with the amount of tackles, doing a lot of things, coverage like that, tip balls. As it's 3rd and 10, 3:25 left.
Clock is stopped after 2 incomplete passes from Costello. FDU has 3 men on the right side. Costello, quick pass behind his receiver.
That time it was Costello's fault behind the receiver.
Incomplete.
Even if he caught the
Fourth
pass, they would have been way short of the first down. And one of the Marist defenders was there to pop the receiver. And FDU has no other option to punt the ball here.
FDU was not looking to run out the clock there. They wanted to get quick strikes and see what happened. They may have actually helped themselves there. We'll see what the FDU defense can do once Marist gets possession. Bruce Harris at his 35. Simonetti comes back to give him a little talk.
Bruce is probably telling him, I'm going to run it back again.
He's got the best shot. He's now moved up to the 30.
Looking for a short punt, which all the punts today have been rather short.
Now, Frank Plefka, you think he's a little nervous. He's standing on his end line. He takes another step back, and he's out of bounds.
Safety. And they're kicking off to Marist.
Harris at the 30.
They're coming after it.
Harris will get a chance to return it.
Ooh.
Almost lost the ball. Kind of had to go down with the ball and cradle it on his leg. But he fell down at the 35-yard line. And Bruce
Looks to be in a little pain down there. Hopefully he's not hurt, especially at this stage of the ball game.
Well, Bruce was in a vulnerable position, as you mentioned, had trouble fielding the ball, had to come up to it. Ball kind of a knuckler, coming towards the sidelines, coming towards us. Caught the ball, had to go down with the ball and cushion it, and he was in an awkward position when he got hit.
Yeah, being a punt returner is no easy job. He was hit rather hard. Hopefully he'll jump right back up from that in a minute.
Well, with the injury, Brian and I will take ourselves a quick break. We'll be back for the conclusion of this ball game in just a moment. And you take a look at Bruce Harris walking off the field. Harris, of course, getting popped on that last punt return. But he's walking off underneath his own power. He's okay. Looks like he just got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, he seems to be all right. Don't want to see anybody hurt at this stage of the ball game.
No.
Marist looking to put the seal on this game.
Let's have a round of applause. That's Bruce Harris.
I think
walking up the
it's
field
almost
with a little
time to
power.
pick our players of the game.
You have a few in mind, Brian?
Well, two, particularly for Marist on offense, of course, Don Diudo, every week.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
there. And Bruce Harris, the huge run back, put this game out of reach for FDU.
Have to think about it. Things we'll talk about before we come back for our post-game show. Marist for the 1st and 10. And, of course, we'll also pick our
Hand it off to
Marist
Kelly.
defensive player.
He runs,
70.
gets about a yard.
Tough choice. Secondary has done a good job in spots. Not really getting burnt. Defensive line has done a fantastic job, as has the linebacking core. I think it will be tough to pick one individual player. Here's a little hint, may end up having to go with co-MVPs, or maybe more than that. More than one person may get a defensive MVP on our defensive player of the game. Julian Wise with a pitch out. Skirting inside to the 25.
Pitched out to Wise. Splits out to the left
That's
side.
number 16 for Marist, now into quarterback.
Chris Weigler.
Chris Wagler in there. Been punting all day. Gets a chance to loosen up his foot, running the ball a little bit.
Weigler is McCourt's backer. Weigler is right-handed. Big
Third, about a yard.
quarterback competition when they came to Marist in the summertime. You had Kenny Ron, you had Brian McCourt, you had Chris Weigler, Matt Lynch was also thrown in there, all trying to take over for Danny O'Donnell. Here's a delayed draw to Julian Wise. He's got some room to roam. He's got the outside, headed for the end zone. He's got... Did he get in?
Oh, it looks like they got him on the goal line.
Wise.
On the 1-yard line. What a run by Wise.
Thought he had pay dirt. You heard the Marist players screaming
He got
touchdown.
us up 24 yards on the last run.
24-yard gain.
And that's a kicker to Wise, and I'm sure he's telling Coach Party, Coach, give me the ball.
I'm sure he was a teammate.
He deserves it on that one.
Ran a lot of cross field on that one. Came all the way back to the right side of the field as we have the ever familiar 3 men in the backfield.
3 men in the backfield for the Red Foxes. Clock ticks at 1:33 left to go in the ball game. They fake one way. They're going to give it to Kyle Carrero.
Touchdown, Carrero.
Touchdown. Did he get it? Not Carrero, I believe.
Marist.
They fake Carrero along the far side. And I think it's John Kelly that got the call, actually. Number 18, who is the lead back in that three-back set.
Score now, Rest. 25. Marist.
Marist has turned this game into a little bit of a blowout. 25-7 Marist. And here's Matty Lynch on for the extra point.
Matt Lynch looking to boot it through from 20 yards out. No fake PAT here, and he boots it through on a line drive.
My kick is good.
26-7 in favor of Marist. And Brian, it's funny, not too long ago, it was 7-7.
Marist Red
It was
Foxes
7-7. It
are
was
26.
at the beginning of the half.
Two Jersey
Marist
Devils.
dictated the half right away with that first possession, what they were going to do with the ball. Dayudu took over the game, basically. On that first possession, he had the ball. He well over 150 yards, I believe. A lot of other runners getting into the action. Marist is dominated. That's all there is to say in the second half after a little bit of a shaky first half.
Whatever happened in that locker room really lit a fire and heated up this Marist offense and defense as well. Defense, we mentioned, they had played well throughout the first half and only been victimized by a couple of crazy plays that FDU pulled out, a couple of penalties that hurt them. Defense played rock solid. Offense kicked in and scored, and that's what you got to do to win.
That's right, Marist reflecting their record. They're 5-4 record now, and FDU drops to 2-6. Each team, I believe, playing up to their level.
I believe so, and of course the equalizing factor tonight, penalties and the cold weather. Can't really underestimate the cold weather.
FDU definitely victimized by the cold weather and the drop balls caused by the cold weather. For the first time, we move to the front of the top of the press box as people start to leave up here.
And we'd like to mention that doing the kicking duties today and the kickoffs for Marist all day has been Hobie Armstrong, who, believe it or not, has taken over the kicking duties for Marist when it comes to kickoffs. They have chosen him over Weigler or McCourt or Matt Lynch. So Hobart Armstrong running off the field. I just want to mention his name, because I know we have not talked about him at all today, but he's been doing most of the kicking. And the FDU coaches did clear out with 3 minutes left to go in the ball game as they
went back to the offices.
They went back to the office to warm up. They knew the ball game was over and the writing was on the wall.
Back to the drawing board for FDU.
And FDU will have a new quarterback, I believe. Costello, not surprisingly, on the bench. Take a look-see here and see who we have. Looks to be number 8, Frank Flefka, who is the punter, and he is the backup quarterback. Flefka in now for Tom Costello. Flefka on a keeper. In trouble, dragged down for the sack. Number 57, Frank Farella, shooting the gap and nailed him.
Farella got there, one missed tackle in the backfield, and they got to him. That's the second punter-quarterback combination we've had in the ball game. One for FDU, one for Marist. Marist with Wilder. Oh, not Wilder. Weigler. Excuse me. Taking over at the quarterback position with 43 seconds left in the ball game.
Flefka losing all sorts of yardage on that play.
And that might have been the last play of the ball game right there.
Third down.
I'm sure FDU not really willing to snap the ball again, unless Flefka just wants to run back and toss it up and see what he can get out of it. Because the ball is at the 27-yard line, still in FDU territory.
As the Marist players and fans begin to celebrate on the far sideline, and that'll be the ball game, I think, with 5 seconds left here.
Down to 2-1. FDU will not get the playoff, and that's the ball game. Marist comes down to Madison on a freezing cold night, and they take the ball game 26-7. They scored 26 unanswered points, Brian.
Congratulations to Marist. They raised their record to 5-4.
Final score, Marist Red Foxes 26.
Hopefully next week finish this season with a very good record of 6-4.
Good night.
A good win for Marist after a tough first half. They came away and really showed who the better team was in the second half.
Okay, Brian and myself will be right back for the post-game show when we return.
Madison, New Jersey, where the Marist Red Foxes take a 25-7 victory over FDU. JW, do you have some players of the game for us tonight for Marist and FDU?
Well, a fantastic game all around between Marist and FDU. Remember, it was tied 7-7 at one point. In fact, FDU had the lead. They scored in the first possession of the ball game, 7-0. Marist coming back, scoring 26 unanswered points. Really an exciting game as it got along towards the end. We didn't see too much scoring, but it was exciting nonetheless to see both teams trying to score on each other, and both were canceled out. A lot of penalties. We talked about the cold weather having an effect. But at this time now, to name our players of the game, for FDU, one of the big standouts for them tonight, Mike Liberato, number 44, their big fullback. He had over 60 yards at halftime, coming close to 100 yards tonight in rushing, and was really the only consistent offensive weapon FDU had tonight. Costello was hitting his receivers in the numbers, but they were trying to catch the ball in their chest and not with their hands.
Exactly. Costello had the receivers open. The receivers got open, but they just couldn't finish the plays tonight. And for the Red Foxes, on offense.
Who else? Who else but number 1, Don Diudo, Marist, number 1 go-to guy. Remember back in the first half, we didn't see him on too many consecutive series. He was in, he was out, he sat down for a couple of series. Comes back, Marist was down 7-0. They scored at the beginning of the second half. They ran 7 straight plays to Diudo. He turned the game around as he always does, or as he always seems to. Marist scores on a Kyle Carrero 3-yard plunge. Diudo still runs the ball, gets Marist some more yardage. He gets a chance to sit down for most of the fourth quarter. So Diudo well over 150 yards tonight rushing. No touchdowns for him, but he didn't really need to score tonight.
No, Diudo definitely didn't. Like you said, he only had, I believe, 8 carries in the first half. He still had 60 yards. The second half, he was just amazing. You know, the Diudo that we know came out. You know, Coach Party at halftime, the game plan must have been to go to Diudo. He did the job, and Marist took the victory.
Honorable mention, by the way, on offense to Bruce Harris, who put the game out of reach with his 83-yard punt return for a touchdown, which was just a thrill to watch.
Exactly. We saw a flag on the play. We were a little nervous, and it was very exciting. Harris, once he got in the open field, broke a few tackles, and he ran in for the touchdown. A very exciting play as the fans erupted.
And on defense, it's a little tougher to actually single out one person. We mentioned the defense played so well. They were rock solid, only got victimized by a couple trick plays that FDU pulled out of their playbook, and a couple penalties hurt them early on, which gave FDU that early 7-0 lead, and the 7-0 lead that extended into halftime. So, Brian, we decided to give it to the whole Marist College defense.
Team. The whole defensive team. They were outstanding. The linebackers, the pass coverage, they'd shoot into the backfield. There was no run anywhere. Great all-around game by the Marist defense.
Remember that no matter how much Don Diudo or someone like a Don Diudo may steal the spotlight because he churns up 100-yard games game after game after game, this team is based on defense, and Coach Rick Pardee has always stressed that since he's been there. He's in his 3rd year, and has always been defense, defense, defense. And, of course, on offense, you have the run, which they like to stick with Donnie Diudo. And we saw just a plethora of running backs tonight. We saw Diudo, we saw John Kelly, we saw Chuck Mullally, we saw Masello. Excuse me, not Masello, we saw Julian Wise, and we saw Kyle Carrero as well. So everyone got a chance to play.
We talked about all the weapons, and they surely used them tonight.
Right. So fantastic game for both the Red Foxes, and we also tip our hats to the FDU New Jersey Devils. Great game on their part as well. They held tight with Marist through 3 quarters of this ball game.
Yeah, FDU having a tough season this year. Now it drops to 2-6. They played a solid first half. A lot of penalties on both sides, but they did stick with Marist for a while. But Marist is far superior team.
Marist 5-4. They have a chance to cement their 2nd winning season in a row next week when they travel to Massachusetts to take on Assumption College. They beat FDU tonight for the first time since 1986. Brian Markham, my thanks to you first of all. The only time I've taken off the glove tonight. So I appreciate you coming down with me in the cold weather to help us out.
Anytime.
And also to Don Fontana and Paul Fiedler, our 2 directors and cameramen, who comprise the road crew. They are our roadies. And the injury report list, everyone's doing okay. A little cold, you know, someone's nose is cold, someone's toes are cold, someone's back hurts, but otherwise we're okay.
And you're treating to Dunkin' Donuts.
I'm treating to the toll.